Yeah, but you don't
literally
drink.
be wrecked if I had that.
You don't drink.
No, I'm going to get you some beer, Bert. Do you want some beer?
No, I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm driving.
Go make your phone call.
Yeah.
It's not the worst I've ever had.
No, it's like bells, mate. It's got
Yeah.
a shitty sort of like
It's got that
cheap taste.
Is it
but
blended?
You're paying for the cheap taste. You're paying well
Yeah.
above and beyond.
But you're paying for the name, aren't
30 quid practically, 28.99.
30 quid.
He hasn't put a lot
30
of thought
quid
into
for a
that.
bottle,
That's all I
Jesus.
can say.
30 quid for the bottle, mate.
Yeah, but he's gone that market for the alkies and winos.
Yeah,
They're
it's
gonna
better than
like
that
that.
shit.
for
He's
that.
literally given us the cheapest.
I don't know. You know those domestic alkies though that like their whiskey.
Yeah.
Them, yeah.
I hope you're recording. This is
Yeah, we are.
ridiculous.
I mean,
Hey!
it's all right. It's not the worst whiskey I've ever had. But it's not the best either.
It reminds me of like teachers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's that. It's kind of like
teachers
It's
whiskey
a
back in the
cheap
day.
brand,
Like,
and he's marking it because he's.
I got drunk when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, go on.
it was bruv.
Fully blended, isn't it?
It was horrific, man. My mum and dad had gone out.
Yeah.
And I had some mates over, and we just raided the cabinet. And I had this teacher's whiskey, and I must have only about half a bottle, but I was 12. And I couldn't go. It was cheap and nasty, man. It was really, really bad.
What's this?
When I was 12, I had teacher's whiskey, and I could never go back to it. Literally, the smell of it would make me puke.
Well, I had, like I said, I drank the best part of a pint of vodka neat when I was like 13, and it's ruined spirits for me, man. Genuinely, that's the first time I've had spirits in a long time, and I just can't do them, man.
Whiskies are real. But I know like my dad, he used to like it.
My
That's
dad
his
does.
brandy.
My dad likes his
Another
whiskey, but
Like a lot of Jamaicans as well, brandy and sort of
brandy and rum.
rum.
Yeah.
See, rum, Club Havana, that's really nice. Havana Club, sorry.
Yeah.
And you get the bottles of that. I had that when we were in Cuba. That was lush.
Mm.
Really nice. You have that with a bit of Coke and it's smooth as anything.
Yeah, I know Mauritius they drink a lot of rum as well. Our island, isn't it?
Dead man's finger. Can't be
Dead
that
Man's
shit.
Finger. I've heard of Dead Man's
That's the
Finger.
good stuff, man.
That's
Da- Do I dare ask? Is it?
Dead man's finger.
It is sexual. Thing.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah, it is sexual. But it's a new one, isn't it?
Is it like when you sit on your hand and let it go numb?
Yeah. And then, yeah. I mean, that's an idea. You might have originated.
Opposed to the hand,
The
it's a
finger. You know where that finger's going as well, man.
Go on, elaborate.
No, I ain't elaborate.
I want to know
You're
how
the
they
one-
come up with that name.
Yeah, you're the one who made that up.
If you sit on your finger long enough, it goes.
Well, you must have heard of the dead hand gang.
Yeah, I know. If you sit on your hand long enough, it
Yeah.
feels like someone else. Yeah,
And then
the silly things you do when you're
did
young.
you ever do that?
Yeah, of course I
Did
did.
it work? I tried, but
I couldn't wang. It was so. I went dead from the shoulder downwards, and it was. You know Ace Ventura when nature calls where he gets shot by the
Yeah.
duck? My arm was, and I was trying it, and it was just honestly, it was like having a joystick in my hand. That was nothing was going to happen with that.
I tried sitting on my arm, but I don't think I got in the right angle. So after like 5 minutes, it did.
It was awful.
Yeah,
Whoever came up with that was nah.
that's a gang out of Gary Glass gang.
I knew a kid at school, and he was Greek, and we came into the toilets, and we heard something going on. He was in the bog. And he was wanking like when you
Starting a fire.
Yeah, starting a fire, doing that. And we were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" God, I looked up there, all fucking for the next fucking weeks. We're all in classes doing that.
That's golden child shit, man.
Yeah,
Start a fire.
Fair play to him for wanking at school. Though. That's a
That
boss
you need,
move.
Yeah, but no,
You need minerals.
we're at a boarding school, so everyone was fucking
yeah.
off. Through anything, yeah, he was having a private. But
You need some
you think of the
balls to do
friction
that,
on
don't
that.
you?
Yeah, Christ.
Mate, that's a lot of lube.
You give
Because
it
that's a
Chinese firm,
friction.
wouldn't you?
Exactly. That's a fucking. You literally set your pants on fire.
Did you drink that?
He was Greek. That's what I remember. I thought I have never seen that before. That was a one-off.
Yeah, probably a reason why you haven't seen that.
Yeah. We caught another kid. Obviously, didn't know about toilets, and he actually the way he got on the toilet is he stood on the toilet.
No. They do. Yeah.
No, he stood on the toilet and then was going for a crap.
Sake.
I know, like that. You can sit.
squatted on the
Yeah, on the
It's the
toilet.
best way out.
Some
they
people
say.
do
Yeah,
that.
Because where it
Yeah.
comes
Use
from, yeah,
French
the
on
country,
chest.
they didn't have like toilets. They just like in France. There's still holes in the ground. It's horrific.
Is there?
Yeah,
In
for real.
France?
You not
I don't
seen
know about
that?
France.
No.
France.
Oh,
really?
mate, they have these horrible, and you have them in Holland as well. They're literally just still
apparently
people
though,
who
it's-
go and they go for shit.
Apparently,
Oh,
though,
it's
it's better for your bowels to
To hold your
squat.
knees.
It's to have
above
your
chest,
knees,
mate.
yeah, knees above your chest. If you go
So-
for a shit,
yeah.
you're supposed to get like a block of wood and put your knees up like that.
Yeah.
That's the proper way
It's
to
quite
go for crap.
comfortable, though, isn't it?
I've heard.
They do it now, you know what I mean?
And to be fair, I've done it when I've had really
Oh,
bad
good.
cramps and I've really had to like a really bad, you know, those ones that just don't want to come out when
Rock
it's
and pop.
hurting. Yeah,
Yeah,
It
I've
is.
done, yeah.
it's like a missile coming out. It's just
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
You call your mum. Mum.
Yeah, it's like going into labour.
Oh, I had one. You know the worst shit I ever had.
Did you just say going into labour?
Yeah.
It's not far off, you know. It's
Oh my
fucking
God.
horrific because there's no fucking you can't. There's no purchase on it.
I
It's
don't
just
know, man. I
solid.
live with
Yeah,
you.
you
There's a
can't-
lot
can't
of
cut.
fucking flex there, man.
You can't. It's just concrete. It's like concrete. They're really ones that you really have to fucking like grip.
Yeah.
Just like fuck.
And then it almost makes you feel sick and you get really hot.
And it
Yeah.
feels like it's about a mile long. It's like it's never fucking ending.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
Well, listen,
What else is new then, boys?
Boo got some good news and some bad news.
Go on then, what?
What do
Yeah.
you want to hear first?
Give me the bad first. Like,
The
so
bad.
like-
So I'd have the good so you can have the bad as dessert.
Oh no! Start with the bad and then with the good.
Alright.
I'll give you the bad news first. So the bad news is, I didn't land the role
Ah!
in that movie I was telling you about. So
We weren't going to see the back of your head in a Marvel film, man.
unfortunately not.
Shit.
Unfortunately not.
It's always poor.
The good news, and I think the good news outweighs the bad, is
Your foot's in the new Hobbit film.
almost. The good news is Boo Boo's gonna be a dad.
No way.
It is there. Nice, bro.
What did I tell you last fucking week?
You know when you said it last week, I was like, I was like,
You're gonna wait, you're gonna
what,
wait.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Where did you hear that? But yeah, so the missus is pregnant.
Wicked.
Awesome.
Banging news.
That's why I was kind of late today because we went to this private scan to find out the gender. Sarah wants to do some sort. Well, we both want to do some sort of gender reveal for our family.
She's quite
tomorrow.
far through them.
Yeah. So
Damn.
she's 16 weeks
Damn,
away.
you get that quiet.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna be a dad. Due date's
To
November.
be fair, hitting it hard, so
Really big, man.
it's going to pay off in the end.
How
I'm
does
well
it feel?
proud.
You know,
For weird.
Weird, man.
Wait
Excited.
wait for the birth.
scared, but all of that. all
Wait
of
for the
that.
birth, man. It is the most craziest thing you will ever see in your life.
I don't think I want to see it.
But they're the bets in my family that I'd faint because I don't like blood and stuff. And
Charcoal.
it's mate, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was
It
watching
really
Waffle
is. It's
Culture,
fucking mental. I was crying my eyes out and everything. Everything. You go through every emotion.
Yeah, my friends have just had a kid.
It's
And they were like, it's
I was
the thing
knackered
he
after
loves
it,
the
bro.
most. He was literally like, I know nothing about the kid, but it's the thing I love the most in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
it's the
insane.
weirdest feeling.
Yeah.
You
for
can't.
real.
I can't explain it to you until you go through it.
Yeah, man.
It's
nuts.
it's great because it's you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've made that, and then you're just seeing it come out, and it's like, this is fucking mental. Because it's
Yeah.
like wildlife when you see, you know what I mean, a birth of animals, but you only see it, but that's when you see it at birth with your own eyes, but it's a child coming out.
I mean, I'm not
It's
gonna
fucking
watch
nuts.
Sarah give birth, but I'll be
No, it's
there
not.
with my back facing
This
her
is a
legs.
rich
like,
out, bro.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
it's nuts,
Well done.
man. I broke the news to like my family on Eid because we had Eid
Yeah.
last week, and they were super happy. My mum cried. My dad was just kind of casual about it. He was like, "Oh yeah, congrats," and then like kind of shoved me out the way and then hugged Sarah.
Yeah.
Shook my hand and kind of just barged me out the way.
Yeah.
And then I told my nan, and she goes, "Oh, I'm really happy for you." And then she went on and said, "Oh, I bet they're gonna have big lips like you as well." So yeah,
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, mixed response. My
Yeah, at least Al did say that.
my
Yeah. He just got slammed on.
my
in my own defence, I
My,
wouldn't go that far.
my
Oh, mate, that's amazing.
my brother was super happy too. So perfect picture.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Big.
I reckon it's gonna be a boy.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I reckon it's gonna be a
I
boy.
knew Finn was going to be a boy. Gut feeling.
Yeah, same. I got
I can't
a gut
explain it.
feeling as well.
You just know.
Yeah.
I know it's probably bullshit to it, but there's something.
The balls are tingling, ain't it? Like you know.
You know.
You know.
Like a spidey sense.
Yeah. but
Yeah.
with your balls.
I was so happy that my Finn was a boy because it was like I wanted a boy. Don't get me wrong, a girl would be beautiful. If anything, it'd be hard work. And you probably, you know what I mean? It's daddy's little girl. But
Yeah.
having Finn, and once he was born, that was it for me. I was done. And even things
Did
like
you have
that.
one more?
No,
Was it just one and done?
I had Finn when I was 30.
Yeah.
And obviously he's 13 now.
I'm 30 as well.
It's the perfect age, bruv. Seriously, it really is.
Rob, when you hit 30,
You've
what to
had
do.
experience in
Yeah.
life, and you've had the ups and downs, man. You switch. You'd say by 30 you should be semi-switched on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say
There's a lot of people that ain't.
I'd say I'm semi-switched on, right?
You are definitely
Yeah,
100%.
I think I am.
Yeah. You're level-headed, man, and you're calm. You've calmed in life, and that's the good thing about becoming a parent. You've got to calm the fuck down.
When you take too many shots to the head, you got to be calm.
Yeah.
Too many more than you ain't gonna withstand the storm.
Yeah.
But yeah, for real.
Man, I'm fucking with these.
Yeah, that's
biscuits.
fucking banging. I know they're bad, aren't they?
Yeah. White chocolate's such a big flex.
Oh, let me get one of these.
How's it being able to eat again as well?
It's
Yeah, it's nice.
It's been a bit odd. Like it's been like you know the first couple of days you're like, am I doing something wrong here? Like
Yeah.
I'm eating, like I shouldn't be eating, but it's cool. And then at the same time you want to take a dump, but you're constipated, and your stomach is telling you to go for a dump, but you don't need a dump.
Yeah.
It's just got food in your belly.
Your body clock must be like
Yeah, so
so thrown out.
literally the day after Eid, I just started eating as many windows as I can.
Get
and
the
I've
carbs back in.
been hitting the gym. I'm super sore. I made the schoolboy error training my dad.
Oh yeah, your dad's
First day back, chest and arms, and he slaughtered me.
Yeah, of course he did, man.
And then I trained
That's proof.
with him the day after as well, back and shoulders, and again slaughtered me. And then the third day he was like, "Oh, you come in gym?" And I was like, I'm gonna take a day off.
Yeah,
How old
And
is
then
your dad?
he's gonna be 60 in September.
but he's a
Well,
unit.
he's
Isn't
a
he?
unit,
I love
man.
his dad.
Yeah,
I
he
was-
is.
Yeah.
I want
he
to
is
train
a
with him. he's
No.
an
Yeah.
animal.
I feel like having Arnie, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like he's like Arnold.
He's like a
For
cross,
the age.
yeah. He's like a cross between like Rambo and Rocky.
Yeah.
60 as well,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
That's the key.
He's good for
Do you know
them.
that is the key to longevity, man? Health and fitness. My old man's 71 and he's walking 25Ks a week.
Well, I was reading
Every
this.
fucking week.
Really?
No shit, he does it 3 times a week, man. In Spain, up the mountains, fucking along the pass. Shows me the maps and all the fact.
Yeah.
Admittedly, he's walking with like 10 other women. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
him and one bloke. And he tries to play it off and like, yeah, all right.
you know what he's
You
doing.
can do a harem.
Yeah.
You got a walking stick.
Ah, you get
Mate.
that pimp stick.
He's
Stick, definitely.
Do you know what? I'm going to get him a pimp
Yeah,
stick.
you
You
can.
can say it's on your walk, Dad.
Yeah.
You got to do the pimp walk.
Has he got like one of those? What do they call them? Those straw hats.
Yeah.
Love
No, he
it.
wears a baseball cap. He's just fucking pals. Ex-Raw
Real
Marine.
OG.
Nah, yeah.
Well,
so-
engineer Raw Marine. But
So
yeah,
he's-
army mentality, man. He's just banging it. And he could put me to shame now. Same as your dad. But put
Yeah,
you to shame.
100%. I can't keep up with my dad, and he's double my age
Yeah.
and change.
And that's the thing. Fitness and field, I reckon that's the key to it. And a bit of a lottery with your genes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think my great nan, she lived to she was late 80s and 90s, and she drank and smoked and
Yeah. That's it. It's
swore like a trooper.
roll of the dice.
Back then, that was the norm, though. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? In the older times, they had harder times, but it's almost that.
I think the
suppose-
food was better. I think people were
More
people
organic.
were, yeah, people were
Yeah.
still putting shit into their bodies in terms of alcohol and cigarettes and drugs. But I think
amount
the
of
general
poisons,
food,
yeah.
Yeah,
and the environment.
But there
was
again,
better.
though, you look at the ones that lived in the coal industry during them times, the shit that they were going through down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but a lot of them got fucked, didn't they?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
asbestos as well. Even my old
Yeah.
primary school was full of asbestos. Like Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
I know
you were at the one where Oliver is.
Thanks, sir.
Our old garage roof had asbestos on it, and I remember my mum, because me and my brother used to climb everything. And
So she
my
broke
mum
down.
used to say, "Oh, like, don't fucking climb those roof, like, it will poison you." Like, yeah, whatever, it's gonna poison
Yeah, they ain't gonna poison me. You end up like
Yeah.
with an extra eye. You're like, what's going on here?
Like the
Under
fish
our
out of the Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah, high on your ass.
you. Listen, back to the baby thing. That's why I was stressing, because I was thinking, how am I gonna do this role with Marvel, and then be like on call if Sarah gives birth? Because I was bare stressing. I was kind of relieved, I'm not gonna lie, that they released me. But at the same way, I was kind of gutted because I was hoping
It would have been
like
cool.
you know, I'm in a Marvel film, I'd be like, yo, boy, it's
In a
in a
Marvel
Marvel
film.
film.
Yeah.
But the birth of your child,
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
and the thing is, I don't know if I would have been able to commit because obviously I'm not going to miss the birth of my child.
we've got to do
that's-
antenatal classes as well, bruv. You've got to go through that.
What's that?
Where they they walk you through the pregnancy and all the breathing techniques, and you go and sit down with your mum and then all the other mums and they're sat there with their big bumps.
No, I'm at work. So.
Yeah.
Do
Man's working.
you know what? I went to 2.
You went to 2. What was it like?
Oh mate, it's like I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's weird because it's a woman basically telling you what you need to do and stuff. But it's just the dynamics of it. For a man, it's very female driven, which it should be.
Yeah,
it is what it is about the
Yeah,
her
you're
You're
giving
basically being
birth.
told to sit in
Yeah,
that back seat, aren't you?
Yeah.
yeah, and so that's exactly it. You feel like a fucking spare part. You're just literally like the.
Well, you basically are in a birth, aren't you?
Yeah, and
Once
it's
you've
just
done-
weird
once you've
sitting
done
through
it.
it and all. It's, you know what I mean? It's very alien to a man.
Yeah.
Some men get right into it. They're really there with their eyes. Yeah,
I
they're
mean-
doing their booklets and their pamphlets.
We've seen a couple of stands now. Like we had the 12-week one. We had one before the 12-week to like confirm that
Yeah.
you know it was, and then we had one today to see the gender. And every time I see it, man, I choke up because it's just like
It's crazy.
whoa. Yeah, and I'm not an emotional dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm OG.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I break a tear, it's like next to like blue moons and shit.
Yeah,
Dropping a bit of alcohol on someone's
Yeah.
grave.
You ain't quite since Biggie died. You know, and now, yeah, it must be so.
Tupac,
it must
man,
be so
he's been
mental.
coming out for weeks.
No, you can come out for weeks. It must be mental. It must feel.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
nuts. It
I didn't
is
know the
nuts.
gender until he was born. We didn't know.
Didn't you?
Didn't find
Like,
out.
see, part of me wanted to kind of leave it, but then like
I wanted to
it's like
surprise.
buying clothes
Yeah.
and all of
It's
that
practical.
stuff. Yeah,
Why?
yeah, but it's so hard.
I'll give you some advice. You will get given
Oh, yeah,
so many. And the thing is, you get given clothes from 1 to 3 weeks or something, or 1 to 3 months, and then suddenly you get fuck tons of them, but not the ones afterwards.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You'll literally get baby clothes from everyone.
Well, my auntie in London, she said, "Oh, like, don't like
everyone
buy
gets unique-
anything because we've got like a stack of clothes that still got labels on
Yeah,
that
that's perfect.
her
Yeah.
granddaughter didn't go through." So.
Yeah, newborn. You'll get so much
Yeah,
newborn
yeah.
stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
mental.
know my mother-in-law Rosa, she be knitting already.
Yeah.
Like I'll go there tonight. She's probably
Boots,
already
hats,
finished.
shoes,
Like,
everything. Yeah.
Isn't it mental? It'll be like tiny. And then it's
Finn,
But then it'll
To
grow.
be
like
fair, when
6
Finn
foot
was
now.
born, even the midwife went, "Oh, he's a long one."
This is a long one.
That's exactly what she said. I
Yeah.
think she's fucking right. But yeah, I took him home, and I think Joe was in for a few days. I can't remember, 3 or 4 days maybe.
yeah.
And they were allowed to bring him home. And I remember sat in bed and literally had him in my hand.
It must be mental.
Yeah. And I said to Rob, about 2 weeks ago, I caught him. I just stood in the bathroom at the door and he was just brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
And like he's 13 and he's 6 foot. And I had a flashback of just holding him in my hand and then seeing him, he's not a boy anymore. And it was, my heart sunk a little bit as well because he's not a little boy anymore.
Yeah, it must be so surreal.
Like he doesn't believe in Santa, all the boy and all the
Oh, yeah.
all the magic's
Oh, yeah.
gone and the innocence as well. He's a
Yeah.
typical 13-year-old now. He just grunts at me and comes down for food. That's what he is, and I know because I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
It pisses me off, and I know what my parents were like, thinking, "Fucking hell,
Yeah, what's going on with our
extra
boy?
50 quid a week for food when he comes,
Yeah.
just for the weekend." He plows through food like fucking anyone's business.
Well, he's looking to grow, isn't he?
He's a big
He's a
boy.
growing boy.
Yeah.
He's 13. He's 6 foot.
Well, he's going to get. They reckon between 6'8" and 6'10".
Fuck.
That's
I
mad.
know.
That is actually massive.
That's fucking huge.
That's
That's
so
up there.
tight, man.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's going on
Get him
the
onto
doors.
the
Oh,
basket,
you
yeah.
think fucking Tyson Fury's 6'8"?
6, 7.
6'8".
6'8".
I thought
I'm
he was
6'8".
Nah,
He's
I think he's
6'8".
6'8". 'cause
Yeah, yeah.
Joshua's like
6'9".
6'6", I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
He's 6'8". So he could be 2 inches tall. He could be 2. If he gets to 6'10", fuck me.
Get him into.
I'm throwing a basketball in his hand.
Yeah, get him to basketball.
He
get him
started
to
playing it
basketball.
at school, but he's still on his scooter. He absolutely adores skate park and scooter.
Yeah.
And I tried to sort of say, maybe at some point your low centre of gravity is going to go.
Yeah, you'll literally be too big.
Yeah, you'll need like a car.
Then again, though, like when you think, well, you look at Jordan, he was 6'6" and he used
I
to
know.
play like he was full foot,
I
like
know.
how low he kept the ball. So you never know.
Do you know what? in my dormitory at boarding school, I had a marker with Jordan that's 6'6", and I used to hang for about an hour off the doors trying to stretch myself. Even the teachers would have a go at me, like in the corridors, off this. Stop hanging! I was trying to stretch myself because I wanted to get to Jordan's height because it's the perfect height for dunking.
That's so
I know you
funny.
can get 7 footers, but to have when you're that height, you've got this a certain grace to it as well, man.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
The only thing is though, being tall is hard work when it comes to like being in shape. You gotta work twice as hard to fill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but try being short because then it's easier for you to fill out, which is a bad thing.
No, but if you're hitting the gym and stuff, it's cool. Like, you
Mate,
know,
Yeah, but I ain't in the gym.
I don't even
So I'm
to
just
this day.
filling out.
to take your fat ass down to
Yeah.
the gym.
It's a curse though. This is what I hate. The world is always saying about people lose weight. You need to lose weight. Or I mean, there's a million videos for people to lose weight. But for people that can't put on weight, it is fucking murder.
Yeah.
It's just as hard. Like my metabolism, even now I'm 44, and it's still that high. That if I don't eat for 3 or 4, even 2 days, I can lose 6 pounds.
I
Damn.
hear that, mate. I hear that.
Yeah.
Literally, I had when I was a couple of weeks ago, I was not feeling well, and I remember I was on the scales and I was at 12.8, and I felt rough for a couple of days. Didn't eat nothing. No, it's about 3 days of just fasting, nothing at all, literally. And then I got on the scales and I was 12.3.
Fucking hell.
I can lose weight so easily.
Yeah, that
It's
was probably
ridiculous.
a lot of water.
Yeah, but
shit.
because my metabolism's so high, they were saying I need an extra 3,000 calories on the normal calories that people eat.
Really?
That's when I was trying to bulk up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we looked into it and they said that's how much you need to eat. I was literally having to get shakes or eat at 2 in the morning
You
sometimes.
should get
Just
on
give that
this. Holland and Barrett do this protein shake called Serious Mass, and the scoops are literally like shovels, and you got to take 2 of them in a shake.
How many?
2 shakes a day.
How? What we talking?
And on top of your food as well.
Yeah, but what's in it? How many grams of protein and shit like that?
I don't know, like
Huge,
something
wouldn't it?
stupid, like 50 grams.
I'd die if I have that. If I have 2 of those, I'll just wither away, man. I would literally leak. I ain't
But it's
allowed
horrible though. You know when you can't eat that much. When I was bulking up ages ago, it felt like it was up to there. It was up to the top of my head. I couldn't get any more food in.
Yeah, it must have been great.
And it was hard work. It didn't become. It became
A task.
more than fun. I've enjoyed trying to bulk up.
But I remember my dad, when he was in the powerlifting, he used to powerlift for Britain and like at world level, and he used to get the protein in. He used to do some madness. I remember he used to get a 1.5 of tuna, pull it in a blender with the brine, blend that up, and then put a bit of chili sauce in to add flavour,
That I would
and
do
drink
that,
it. It's down it within like 10-15 seconds.
That's hard.
Yeah, but I love tuna.
I mean,
I love
I don't
tuna
like
and
tuna.
out of the can as
Would
well.
you have a tuna drink?
Yeah. I
No,
think I would.
wouldn't.
Ooh, fuck off.
I tried it. Don't get me wrong. You get down
I love
10-15
fish.
seconds. It's cool to begin with, but then after a while, when you know what's coming, you start gagging. And,
Yeah. Would you want to get some like?
I was
crab
doing raw
paste
eggs.
and then put that in a thing, and then put some milk in there and have it like a milkshake, but with like crab paste.
Now I'm getting to like celebrity get me out of it. That sort of shit.
But that's what it would be like
I,
for me.
I do like the fish. I eat fish every day. Do you,
Do you remember that there was I can't remember who the boxer was. He fought Cotto and like messed up Cotto's eye really bad, but he used to drink his own piss.
Who was that?
Was it?
Galotto?
No. He fought Cotto and teared up his eye, and there was a rumor that he had something in his gloves.
Oh, that guy.
The Mexican bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he
With the
did.
tash.
Yeah.
No, he used to
Was
put
it like-
wax on his on the.
Was it like Margarita? Or
Yeah, something like that. Margarita.
Something like that.
It was the guy who did. He did
Yeah.
something with his cast.
With the
Yeah,
wraps,
yeah.
yeah, he
with the
made it
wraps.
and
solid.
then
He
Cotto
put
fought
his-
him again and like
Busted
bullied
him
him up.
because
like,
he didn't do his raps.
Yeah.
I didn't know he drank his own piss.
Well, I think there was
Wow.
nah, not him. I think
Or
there
the
was.
Mexican boxer that drank his own urine.
Oh, there's another one.
There's
a few of them.
Fought against Floyd Mayweather.
No.
Oh,
Nah,
not him.
No,
No, he
not
did drink
him.
his own piss. Apparently.
but yeah,
I've got another one.
There you go.
Margarita. Put that in.
That's his name. Well, no, it's Marquez.
No, there's someone.
No, that's the next boxer. But yeah, anyway, some of them thought there
It was
was.
supposed to be. Some people believe that it was I thought piss is your body getting rid of the toxins.
I thought it was
exactly
a
that.
I thought it was a waste product.
But there are people in the health world who say that drinking your own piss is good.
I mean, I get the whole, you can get the condensation from urine, and then obviously drink that as the water, can't you?
I'm sure though, if you're in the desert and you drink your own piss, you die quicker from dehydration.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some.
You want to get a camel shit and open it and get the water out, don't you?
Loito, Machida, Lucamo.
or like a cactus.
Cactus is good. They store shitloads of, but it's getting in there though.
Yeah.
They've got fucking. They're killers.
You can't just bite it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to bite a porcupine.
Yeah.
Fucking desperation that you're trying to bite a cactus.
What situation would you find yourself?
That's like inverted kaplunk.
Yeah.
You pull the fucking straws
And
and the marbles
that,
drop.
that would be so shit. Like you find yourself in the desert with nothing around, and there's a cactus, like a full-grown
prickliest
cactus,
one.
like green as anything, but it's like got pricks all over it, and you think, how am I going to get into this?
I'd probably dig one by one. Dig.
Nah, not
It's the
Yeah.
only way.
Get
You
into
know-
the roots.
You're gonna have
would,
to dig.
You know what I would do? Yeah, I would like.
Just
Running
one
dig-
you
running
go
dig
Rambo.
down.
I would like measure up like 50 meters and just run at it as fast as I can.
Oh, imagine
And I hope that I could just take it out and then just like
No.
How would you jump into it?
Oh, you're just gonna go into it. You know, like that.
shoulder first.
You know that when you get Velcro and you go onto those Velcro walls, you would just jump and stick. You would literally be impaled with
I'm thinking
like a
dig. Now.
pincushion.
Now I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking dig.
You're gonna have to dig. You're
Or
gonna
try
have to
and
go under.
Take the spines out, whatever.
Can you imagine that?
Well,
They're
yeah,
not.
long time.
You're not doing it with fingertip, bro. You're literally doing it like that. And some of the prickly things on them are fucking huge,
The bastards.
like a foot long.
Why do you even need that?
It's protection. It's the plant's protection. It's exactly that.
Yeah, I know that.
Nature's
but-
got a very good way of giving quirky things like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So
it's,
it protects it from prey.
it's so
It
pointless.
protects it from getting eaten.
by Anu. by getting knocked over by him shoulder barging.
That would be great though. Hey, I found the funniest thing on TikTok the other night. Sarah went to bed early because obviously being pregnant.
Oh, as you do when the
And-
wife goes to bed early.
And
Got on your TikTok.
I watched
Give me
so
on
I watched
TikTok.
this film called the Paper Tigers, and I don't know if I mentioned it a couple of weeks back, but it's about three guys that learn martial arts through their like sensei when they're kids, and they grow up and come out of touch with it.
Right.
Sensei gets killed, and they go on this sort of
That's
like
fair.
revenge. But anyway, right, I finished watching that, and I was scrolling my phone. I was on TikTok, and this video come up, and I couldn't stop laughing, man. I'm pretty sure I woke my wife out. But watch this.
A guy will be like, that astrology shit is so fake. Okay, let me guess, you're a Gemini.
I'm actually a Negrosaurus. Rawr.
A guy will be like, that astrology.
I can't repeat that.
That's it.
Yeah, I can't. That's funny, but I can't repeat it.
TikTok's a mad place though, man.
I don't know. It's ooh,
Do you remember
it's
when,
crazy. I've never been on it. I'll be honest with you. I've seen videos through links and stuff like, but I've never actually been on it.
Do you remember
I haven't downloaded the app.
when Trump was trying to boycott it?
Oh yeah, because he said it was like a Chinese
It's
app or
It was
something.
China, yeah. Well, it is Chinese owned, but it was
Is it?
China, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like as evil as Trump was and as shit he was, I low-key kind of missed like how funny he made America. Like there were so many scandals,
missed
and it was kind of because it wasn't affecting our country. It was kind of just funny to see him just fuck all this.
I think they
stuff
brought
out.
America. He brought America down a couple of pegs.
Yeah,
Americans abroad are the worst. God, you know, I love my country, and the fact that every morning they're standing and getting the kids to sing to the flag. It's all very 1984. Do you know what I mean?
We live in the era of like meme, don't we?
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
the whole world is just like a joke.
It is now, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
and that's what just creased me up about Trump. He was like,
He was the ultimate troller. He
he was just a fucking meme.
crazy motherfucker.
He was a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he was just allowed this platform.
The biggest
Mental.
narcissist that's ever been in power, ever.
Definitely one of them, yeah.
Yeah,
I know you get narcissism of the other people in power that do atrocities and stuff, but just for just self-promotion in say the 20th century, that's 21st century. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just fucking
Current, he's an absolute nutbag.
Yeah,
he's
he's a
still
nutter.
doing it now, you know.
Yeah, but he's not. But he doesn't have his platform as
No,
much,
but he's set up that what is it called? Another
not Parler.
Not Parler, but he set up his own one similar to that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just basically like the
What
old
is it?
days of the internet. You know, you just have message boards. It's really
It's just
basic.
that- it's just
and
that
it was going to be
before.
groundbreaking, and
Yeah.
everyone's going to come
Oh,
over.
what he started his own
Like a new
social
Twitter, he
media.
was saying.
Yeah,
What
When it
is
wasn't.
then?
It was
I
like
know.
a message board from the
I know
early
there was
2000s.
I know there is Parler.
internet.
Oh, like MySpace type thing.
Worse than that, bro. It literally is. You know, like the old message boards that you used to get in Tesco's and shit. Or Safeways.
Oh,
Looking
mate.
for a cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. You post just a letter.
He was just fucking mental, but it was kind of like funny, you know. And it's
But,
kind of like, what's this?
yeah,
what's this,
it's
what's
easy.
this nutter doing today?
Yeah, easy for us, but he did drive me insane, man, because it must have been hard for Americans
Yeah, it
that
must
didn't believe it. And even now, he's still doing it. There's still so many, like the
Stop the count.
GOP is a joke now. They're all still following him. They're still saying that the election could have been a fraud.
Really?
Yeah, even now. They don't actually say it, but they're saying, well, they're not really, the president's the president. We don't think he's done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just by the wording of it. Do you know what I mean? And you still got Fox News peddling crap. And
When was the election, man? I'm sure it
February,
was a while ago, wasn't it?
January.
No, I'm sure it was before Christmas.
The inauguration was in January.
The inauguration.
Yeah, so it would have been sort of November, December. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's around. Yeah, it's November.
that was mental, man.
November, and there's still now, and there's still something like 70 odd million Americans that still believe that the election was a fraud. It's
It was, man.
I got to be careful, man.
Yeah, fake
But-
news.
It's not fake news, but that's the problem. You just hit the nail on the head. Fake news. They take fake news, and Fox News perpetuates fake news
Yeah,
on the proviso that they know that the people that their demographic of listeners are not going to be professors and are not going to be people from universities. The majority of them are just normal working class, very not ill-educated, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Simple folk would be a nice way of putting it.
yeah.
And they will believe anything if Trump, because they believe, and then the irony is that they thought Trump was for the people, but he wasn't. He was for corporations. You know what I mean? He literally said he was going to drain the cesspool, and then he just opened the floodgates and went, just do what you want.
What even drained the swamp? What even was that?
That was a case of, his thing was to get corporations. He hated corporations, to get big money out of it. He was a man of the people. Do you know what I mean? He was going to give work back to the working class and farmers and all your fucking blue collar
Yeah, you
workers.
boys.
In fact, he was a white collar. He always has been. Do you know what I mean? From the moment he was born, he was given millions to deal with.
Yeah.
And you look at his history, he's not a very good businessman.
No, he's went
All
back
his
a couple of
ventures
times.
are fucking-
Back quite a lot, hasn't
All of his ventures are fucking gash. Do you know what I mean? Trump State, Trump Universities, Trump Airline, they're all gone under.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking narcissistic dick.
The only
he?
good
Didn't they
thing
have
was
the
the
Trump
Avengers.
hotels as well?
Yeah. Well, what he would do, he'd lease the name. So the hotel would be owned by the company that built it, or the actual
Yeah,
chain,
like
and then
that.
they would put his name over the top of it.
Yeah.
So it
Like the
become-
plaza.
the only one that was
Yeah,
Trump
Trump
Tower.
Trump Tower. Well, that's
Yeah,
where, that was
that's
like his
his.
business, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
like
the
his
rest of them,
thing
all the
operation.
sort of try would just be his name above the door. Remember, we had a casino as well. We tried doing that. Everything.
Yeah. I need to get another chair, man. This one's dog shit.
Yeah,
keep
one of
talking.
the big sofas.
Nah, I don't want to pull that.
No, honestly, you just fucking put it over.
Yeah, I don't like it, but he won't go away.
Yeah, he's like
A virus.
a bad rash, aren't
He
he?
just makes me. But when
It's
he
worse
was,
than the clap.
when he was in,
Mailman would call it.
when he was in power, he made me laugh though. You know.
He did. He was funny. Some of the shit he come out with, like injecting himself with fucking bleach. Brilliant. Absolute
Fucking
genius.
mental.
That was people were actually doing it.
And he actually asked the woman as well, the doctor sat next to him, is that possible? Do you know what I mean? Shooting rays of light down your... You're like, get
What
in
did
there.
she say?
She was like, no. She was sat there with a mask on. You could see in her head going, oh, God, fuck, no.
That was where it put to his mouth.
No, he said it live on fucking TV, bro.
So much more to that.
How can there be so much more to it? It was live on TV. He actually said it. The woman was sat next to him. Like, you literally go, no, there's no...
Yeah,
sense in
but
that.
he was being mind controlled by the aliens.
Yeah, he was being mind controlled by.
He hasn't got a mind. That's the beautiful thing about it. There is no shutter. It just, the tap's always on. There's no filter with Trump, and you've got to admire him for that. He literally says what he wants.
He's a reptoid shrill.
All of his, you
Yeah.
know, for a president,
He
they have,
blinked sideways.
Yeah, he blinks sideways, man.
every president and most politicians have speech writers.
Yeah.
So you get given you see Biden doing it all the time, reading from the teleprompter. You know what I mean? They stick to a strict guideline.
Yeah.
Trump would get written stuff and then go in there and just
Freeball
bollocks to
it,
that. Yeah. Have the balls to freeball it.
Maybe it's because he saw a really big word and he was like,
I know
shit.
that is.
And then just started freeballing
You
it.
like, didn't know how to pronounce it.
His tactic was just treat it like the business and then just whip the crowd up into a frenzy and it was just taglines.
Basically,
you know what I mean?
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
But politics has
there was
just become
no
taglines,
substance to anything he said. Literally nothing.
But politics has just become taglines.
But yeah, because politics was so shit and they hated politicians, that large group of people said, "Yeah, let's try something different."
But even over here,
unfortunately, it's like the Trojan horse.
Get Brexit done.
Yeah.
Get Brexit done. for
We
the
do it
many,
in a
not the
different
few.
way, yeah.
We do it, but yeah, we
Don't
do
get
it
wrong,
in-
Boris is
Boris is a prick. We do it in a, we do it, but we don't do it to the extreme. But I mean,
we're
we do
not.
have
We're more
catchphrases.
reserved. We are. If anything, we're probably worse. We're like the criminal with a silver glove, but it's gonna fucking kill you. You know what I mean? There's a suave and sophistication to our bullshit and our fucking fraud in this country.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite debonair. It's wrong. It's probably even worse because it's behind closed doors. Americans, it's up in your face. Their politicians are blatantly corrupt, and the shit they say is basically just. But over here, they won't do that. They'll lie to your face. It's like the smiling assassin.
Yeah, it's true. Like the whole NHS best thing.
Yeah,
all of
330
that.
million was going to go to the NHS every year or something, wasn't it?
And
Why
they
is
said,
it-
"Oh, good."
And it's-
Where did it go then?
what makes me laugh? We've had this pandemic. Our national debt now is huge. Where did that money come from? In all the years when we've asked to help the NHS out, or give nurses a pay rise, and they even still called over it after that. 2% pay rise, and they're fucking nuts.
What war are we entering?
Disgusting.
Yeah, did we
What
borrow?
time we entered in?
Well, where does it all come from?
What
Suddenly,
wars
if you
have
can
we
create
entered in?
all this money, why couldn't you at least try and help out the things that need sorting out, which have done for years? The NHS is the best thing that ever happened to this
Wars our
country.
country have entered in.
Bruv, hold on a minute. I'm talking about the NHS. Not fucking wars. What the fuck?
Where's the money come from?
Look, we're not on about that at the moment. I'm just.
What? Do you know? I heard that there was like a pot of gold underneath the pyramid, and that the leprechauns went down there to take it, but was stopped by the Scottish. So in actual fact, it was Biden's fault.
Yeah, it was Biden's.
Fox News, man.
It was the left. It was the left wing.
The left
It
wing.
was the liberal left who kind of.
But it is annoying though. The things that need sorting out in this country, they won't do it because it's working class and it doesn't benefit them or the rich.
Yeah, of
Or
course.
corporation, and it's annoying.
I'm just here for a good time, not a long time.
Now you got a legacy to leave behind now.
Oh yeah, little Mamadou.
No, you ain't, man.
I'm
You
thinking
got
about
your
naming my
pensions.
son Mamadou, but
Mufasa.
nah, Mamadou.
Isn't that from one of your books?
You're not supposed to mention that. That's private and confidential.
Oh,
Yeah, that book hasn't been released yet.
oh yeah.
Thanks for fucking it up, Rob.
That's right. Man.
Now I'm gonna have to rename him.
Yeah, you would have to, definitely.
Yeah, now me and Sarah always have this joke about I like really strong African names,
Yeah,
and she opposes to them. So yeah, Mamadou's
in
up
contention.
there, yeah, and M'Baku from Black Panther.
Which one's in Baku?
He's the part of the ape tribe.
Oh,
Yeah.
The big ape dude.
The ones who live in
Yeah.
the snow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that dude.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, legacy, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Have you cleared the name with her?
Oh, she doesn't want it. No.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
she doesn't want it.
Did you go for middle name?
That's the name.
Do you know, I
She don't want it, innit?
the thing is, because
So I legit named my son Mamadou. It's basically, I think, so when I was on the film set for Informer, I met a guy called Mamadou.
Yeah.
And I was like to him, oh, where does that name originate from? And he goes, oh, it means Muhammad, but I think it was Ghanaian or maybe Nigerian.
Yeah.
And I was like, serious? He was like, yeah, because Muhammad, they have different ways of spelling it, but also different ways of saying Muhammad.
Yeah,
Kind of
dialects.
like Jesus, we say Isa and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I really liked it from then. The guy was like a really nice guy.
Mamadou.
Yeah, Mamadou.
Nice.
And I still got his number and stuff and still chat to him here and there. But yeah, I love the name, and it's just become a joke. Sarah's like not taking it serious.
You know, you could have got away with it if you didn't know the sex. I said to Joe, if it's a girl, you can name her. If it's a boy, I get to name him.
She'd
we
never
started-
have that.
Really?
Yeah, she wouldn't. have
That's a
that.
shame. I was banging. But to be fair, she liked Finley, so we're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. But about 3 months after he was born, I went down the park. I was just walking through the park, and I heard some bloke saying, "Finley!" And turned around, it was a fucking dog. I was like, oh no.
I love it when dogs have human names. So
It fucked me
bad.
up. No.
Like you get a dog called Nelson or something like that. Just like, yeah.
Well, there's this black and white cat that keeps running in and out of our garden, and his name's Thomas.
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 No,
Yeah, as in, like
Polish.
the Polish
Yeah, like the
Thomas,
Polish.
like
Yeah,
Thomas. And he actually looks like Thomas as well.
That's sick, man.
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, he's OG, man. I stroked him yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
You like
The cats. The cat. The cat.
What are
What-
you doing in your garden, bro?
Yeah. Well, what else is popular then, boys? What else is new?
Oh,
Do you want to do it?
just the AJ fight, man.
Yeah. That's
It killed me today, man. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got tipped over the edge. I got to the edge with the whole Super League with football as being a Liverpool
Yeah, that
supporter.
pushed you, didn't it?
That really took me to the edge because it's not about the sport. It's about money, and it's horrific. Sport is about sporting excellence, and it's also about people being able to relate to people, and it's about the fans.
Yeah.
That's what makes sport is nothing without fans. It'd just be a what do you call it, a pastime
Yeah.
or a hobby. That's what it is. So you need fans. That is integral to every sport to make money, to do what it needs to grow, to, do you know what I mean, to then
Yeah,
make
yeah.
better things. That fucking news that came out that AJ is going to fucking not happen because Fury's going to fight Wilder because the Court of Arbitration said no, it's an absolute fucking joke. It's just money grabbing of the extreme. I can see it. Behind the scenes, they're going to make a fuck ton of money out of this. And the next fight, if it happens next year.
Well, I guess it's contractually obligated.
Yeah.
I know, but they fucking knew that in the beginning.
Yeah, they
so
did.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what annoys me. They didn't. It's not about sport and fans anymore.
Yeah.
It's about fucking generating money and generating hype.
I think the issue is that like I don't believe Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight AJ because he clearly does, like, and AJ clearly wants
Yeah,
to fight
yeah.
him. But I think the issue is Fury was adamant that he didn't want to fight Wilder after all the messing about he had last year. And the issue is if it's set in a contract, you can't just brush it underneath
No,
the
you
rug
gotta
and
do
act
that,
like
yeah.
it's not going to happen. So I think there was a post where Eddie Hearn mentioned that he's close to finishing the AJ Fury fight, and Deontay Wilder's missus commented on it saying, well, how is that possible? Because he's still in contract for the trilogy. And no one really took wind of it. And I think Michelle Joy Phelps from one of the boxing media sites, she like caught wind of it, and she was always asking like, what's going on? And people were kind of brushing it under the carpet. She clearly saw what everyone else didn't.
Well, I'm guessing they were probably like, if we make the fight and we do stuff like this, we might be able to give Wilder some hush money to move.
Well, yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna
I
say-
think that was the idea.
I think Eddie Hearn was banking on the fact that because Wilder took a beating
he
and it really,
didn't want to.
let's be honest, Fury fucking whooped him, man. He
Yeah,
taught him
he
a
schooled
fucking
him.
lesson, big time, in how to fucking box. Do you know what I mean? And I think because they looked at him before, he ain't going to come back from that. He won't want to fight him again. We can just pay him off.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so they thought that, and then they thought he'd never actually call him out and say, "I want the trilogy."
Yeah.
I still think it's crazy.
But do you know where they messed up, right? Is where they had the idea of giving him the sort of hush money and say, okay, you can fight after the AJ and Fury. But it's where they announced the site fee payment when they said, okay, Joshua and Fury are going to get 55 million or 65 million each, right? That's where they messed up. Because they could have gone away and been like, Wilder, step aside, here's 10 mil, right? But because they've done that, and that's just the site fee, that's not...
That's just
That's,
fighting.
yeah, that's just fighting Saudi. That's not their person. That's not a
They
sponsorship.
reckon 100 million.
That
didn't they?
isn't ticket revenue. So
could be
he's
100
obviously
million.
looked at that and thought, if you're not giving me close to 50 plus, I'm not interested. I want my trilogy.
It's kind of
I don't think they give him 50.
I kind of agree with Wilder it's arrogance on the fact of her and that. To
Yeah,
think that-
100%.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
The arrogance to think, we can just ship him off, and then this is the fight
Yeah.
everyone wants to fight. Yeah, everyone wants that fight, but you should have been honest in the beginning and said that we can't make this fight happen until these, or Wilder makes the decision, and then there should have been a period where you had to say yes or no, and then they could have moved on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they just thought
it
they'd
should be
fucking pay him off and it'd be done.
But
Wilder
when-
wouldn't come back.
Would that period, because they fought, when was it that they fought? Was it
was it
it was last
beginning
year?
of last year?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was around January time, wasn't it?
February maybe. But they fought, and it's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
So I thought, I wouldn't be surprised if they assumed or
that he
had
didn't
a
want to do
deadline.
it.
They didn't, because they didn't
To be
get
fair,
talks about the fight.
I assume that he wouldn't want to go back in the ring with him because he
He got
saw him at the end of
scored,
that fight,
yeah.
man. He was scared in those
Yeah.
two
Yeah,
rounds.
he
man.
was.
You
Do,
could
do
see
you
in
know
his
what
eyes.
though? You can, because I was thinking about this earlier. My boy Christian's fighting the same guy he fought in his last fight, in his MMA fight. That's a different conversation. But I was thinking about this earlier, and a lot of people have this sort of idea that Fury's gonna beat Wilder, even worse, or so forth. But you can never undermine or disrespect a fighter and think, oh yeah, I've got them because I beat them last time.
Oh, no.
Because they're gonna know you even better than anyone else knows you because they've been in the ring with you and had your all. So they're gonna be more cautious, etc. And in actual fact, they could be more dangerous because they know.
I think no, because Fury put such a beat down on him,
Yeah, I think that
and the
demoralised
class,
him.
the classes, you can't bridge that gap.
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? And I think
yeah.
the mindset, and Eddie Hearn had that mindset that the fuck, he's never going to want another fight. We can just pay him off.
Yeah, I don't deny that, but I think I wouldn't put Wilder down and say he doesn't stand a chance because you got to remember he knocked Fury down in the first fight.
Oh,
yeah.
And a lot of people think he knocked him out because Fury, if you watch the tape back, Fury didn't make the 10 count.
Yeah, but he figured him out straight away as soon as he got out.
Of course.
As soon as he got out, he figured him out. When actually, if you're on the front foot with him,
Yeah, so
because
Yeah.
you see it in
The
every
forward
fight,
pressure.
man. He loads up from
Yeah.
a fucking mile
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
Sometimes
you
it's
can
coming
see it
from
coming.
down here, and
I watched him
brawls,
fight
he doesn't
Audley
fight.
Howson the other day.
Yeah,
Oh god,
that was such a bad fight.
Yeah, he
on,
just killed him.
on both accounts.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was awful.
But listen, so they're saying they reckon Wilder versus Fury
September.
24th of July.
Right.
So they have to fight before the 15th of September. And then Eddie Hearn's on the phone to Usyk's, Alexander Usyk's
Yeah.
manager for Joshua. And then potentially Bob Arum reckons that a November-December Fury Joshua show.
See, that's bullshit. That Usyk's getting the call.
well, he's
Dillian White.
mandatory. He's mandatory.
What about fucking
Uh,
White? This piece of,
WBO?
but why do they always look him over?
Because
He
because
waited
his-
1,000 days or
yeah,
something.
but his
It's a
belt,
fucking-
his belt is for Tyson Fury.
Oh, what, the WBC?
Yeah, so
Dillian
he's mandatory for WBC.
Yeah.
So
But again,
Yeah, but-
Wilder's in
So he's got no
contract.
chance.
so-
Yeah,
So
Wilder's
again,
in
Wilder, Dillion's in the worst position of all. Then he
Yeah.
is literally in no man's land
Yeah.
because it's going to be a minimum of 2 fights before he might even get a whiff of that
Yeah.
belt.
I'd say 3.
Yeah, 3.
Potentially, yeah.
He's never going to be. He's never going to be number 1 contender for the other belts
I mean, he could be.
He could
unless
be.
he needs to fight Usyk.
That could
Okay.
be the fight, yeah.
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 If
now
he
that
fights
you say
Usyk
that.
and then he become mandatory for that belt because he's got no chance of getting hold of Fury. It's like I said, for 3 fights minimum.
Yeah, because I imagine
They're going to have a
trilogy with
trilogy.
Fury and then
Yeah.
possibly 2 matches.
So that's 4
AJ.
fights. There you go.
Depending if
Possibly.
they get one apiece, then they'll have a trilogy. But
I think it'd be written into the contract because it'd be the super fight. The only thing that I think can come out of this that might be good is the fact that if they do hold the fight, because of everything going back to normal, they could hold it at Wembley. Because I still think, even you've got 2 British heavyweights going for the title, it should be at Wembley.
ideally,
Fury doesn't want to fight in the UK
Why not?
because it's not going to make him no money. Well, it's not that it's not going to make him money. It's not going to make him the most amount of money.
yeah,
He's openly said that
Again-
he doesn't want to fight in the UK.
Again, it makes me sick.
yeah. It's a bit
How
shit.
much money is enough?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Imagine getting like
Mate,
Boxing,
I'm-
boxing was starting for the working
Yeah.
class people, of just
Yeah.
people brawlers, people from the lower classes.
People
That's what it
scrapping.
was, yeah. It wasn't upper crust fucking tots doing it. It was basically thugs, you know what I mean? People that fucking were down and out and had nothing. And now, I'd rather go and fight in Saudi because I can make an extra 50 million when I'm going to make you'd make, say, 60 million total purse.
Wherever they fight, they're gonna make money.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, though.
They could fight in Kingsholm. They're gonna make a shitload of
Yeah.
money.
That's it. they're gonna make.
And
King's
Wembley
Arms in
is the
Gloucester.
perfect venue.
It would be.
It's two Brits. It doesn't come around a lot.
No. When was the last time?
Lennox and Bruno? No,
Yeah.
that was Lennox and fucking.
Lennox and did he fight Audley?
No. Who have you
No.
fought?
He fought Audley. Oh, that was that Danny Williams, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was awful.
Yeah, but it was probably Lennox's day.
Was
Lennox
Dan-
Lewis.
Danny Williams was.
But they went into
British,
two
wasn't he?
heavyweights
Was
because
Danny
Tyson
Williams
beat.
British?
Huh?
Was Danny Williams British or
Yeah,
American?
no, he's
He's
English. Yeah, he was from London. I'm sure he was. Very West End boy, he said.
But
I don't
Yeah.
think, looking back, that
Yeah.
we've had two heavyweights with the belts fighting.
No,
Because I'm
we've not.
sure,
I'll have a look, but you guys keep chatting.
actually, it might have been Frank Bruno and Lennox Lewis.
I get the impression.
I think
Lennox
it is.
would have-
I
because
think it is.
dominated.
Lennox Lewis, actually. He did smash up. He did. I remember it. He did. He spanked him. They got
Yeah.
stopped.
It's all up in the air,
'Cause-
isn't it?
He got the belt. Bruno finally got the belt after about the third attempt or something. I can't remember who he beat.
I know he got sparked by Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mate,
got
he could have.
destroyed by Tyson.
But if you watch that fight, there was a round where he caught Tyson, and something in Bruno's nature that he hasn't got that killer instinct. That's what everyone said about him. He was a nice man. Do you know what I mean? He just didn't have that chin granite.
Yeah.
You couldn't knock him down. It was like an oak tree. He just wouldn't go down. But in that fight, he caught Tyson with a shot, man, and he was literally opened like that. And it was literally just all he had to do was give him an uppercut, and he would have floored him. But he didn't know, man. He was just on the ropes and he just stayed there. And then Tyson just came in and started battering
Lennox
him.
Lewis, Frank Bruno, 1993.
Yeah. That was
World
it.
Heavyweight Championship battle.
And that made him
That would have been 2
undisputed,
years
wouldn't it?
old.
Or it would have got his belt.
I can't remember.
So there you go. Then
yeah.
that long ago. It doesn't. It
Nearly
comes
30
around in
years.
generations. That if we're lucky. And they're going to Saudi to do it.
It's kind of shit.
Yeah.
It is. Where's the home of boxing?
UK.
Queensbury Rules. Yeah.
London, isn't it?
Yeah. London.
And
Docks.
Queensbury both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lenny McLean, Hoxton, Hackney.
Okay.
King.
In actual fact, and
Go right
you
back.
You can go right back.
Yeah, man. Right back.
And then you got what's his name over in America, Jack Johnson.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
One of them boys.
It literally goes right back. Yeah. To what the age? What was it? 18.
Oh, it goes back
17.
1867 was when the Queensbury rules started getting introduced.
There you go.
Prior to
1867.
that, you were running post London rules, which were
Late 1700s.
around. All of them were skilled boxers. And it
Yeah, but what was
it
the timeline? What,
art.
1700s?
It wasn't art. It wasn't all council or things like that. It was art of the day.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean, there's always been respect and there's always been
no, it was
been a
very
code of
much
honour
like-
with
it was
boxing.
It was like any other sport. It was
Yeah.
a man's game. It was that.
I
There was a lot of the aristocracy. and
Money
all
way
that
with it.
actually turned into more of a.
wow,
game.
that's
Pay-
another
pay-per-view
conversation,
fights.
isn't it?
Pay-per-view fights, man.
It does poison everything. Once upon a time, it was nice to have. You get purses and stuff, which is all right. You expect it. To be fair, if you're going to go into boxing, you're going to put your life on the line.
And if you're a
You
champ,
should-
world
you've only
champion,
got you've got
yeah.
a short life. Same as in a
we've got a short career. haven't we?
yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to try and if you're going into that, you've got to make your money. Well,
Yeah.
as they're saying, do you know what I mean? So I understand big money, but it gets like I said, it gets to a point there where it's just you can see it's blatantly how rich can I get?
Yeah. I wonder if it'll do how it'll do pay-per-view buys. I wonder if it'll crack the top like.
Oh yeah,
10%.
100%. It will break
The biggest,
Mayweather Pacquiao.
it'd be, yeah,
100%.
it'd be the biggest
Yeah,
fights.
100%.
Mayweather Pacquiao was fucking massive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It'd be the biggest fight in the last 20, 30 years. Probably actually, it'd probably be the biggest
Easily.
fight of all time. Mate,
Yeah,
I would say the biggest fight of all time.
I reckon.
yeah, because you think of technology nowadays.
You
It changes the ballpark. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day, you could only have certain channels and watch it. Like if you look at Ali and Foreman, it's one of the biggest fights ever. But there was only three
What was the person?
channels: BBC One, BBC, £1 million each.
Right.
But you think about like if you was to go back in the day and say to like the general public in the UK and say America and say, oh, are you watching the Floyd Mayweather and the Manny Pacquiao fight? They'd be like, who's that? They generally would be. They might have heard of Mayweather. They might. but they would have been like, who's that? But if you go to the UK and the States now and say, are you going to be watching the Anthony Joshua and the Tyson Fury fight? They would be like, yeah, I want to watch that.
And the way that the world is, the internet, the way they do the promo. They reckon, they reckon it could be 100 million each with everything.
Can I ask what the sporting faves are for say National Football League in America and
nowhere near that.
I'm not an avid football fan.
Nowhere near that. Not career. Not for. That is.
No, I'm intrigued to know what the career money is.
I'll tell you.
In that sort of
Well, I tell you. You're looking at a career that's over certain sports, like you look at NFL or something, 10, 15. They get paid $3 million, and then they get merch on top of that, private. There's only so much that, so all the endorsements. Fighting is one of the only sports where you can earn a complete sporting career in one fight.
I'd just like to
Nowadays.
I'd just like to mention that this podcast is sponsored by McVitie's Cookies, white chopped chips. Unofficially sponsored. Thank you for sending them in, even though they cost £1 each.
Yeah. Yeah, it's money crazy now. It is. It's gone beyond how much is enough.
I said this about footballers. I can't stand football.
You think Jordan is worth $1 billion, but it's taken him since 1980. When did he go pro? 84? No, even earlier. I think 81.
81 or 82, I think it was.
Yeah. So it's taken him that to now to become a billionaire. Tiger Woods is, I think, is worth near that, $600 million or $700 million, something like that. Do you know what I mean? But that's a lifetime.
I'm trying. Who's the richest sports person?
It's McGregor at the moment.
Yeah.
No, as in generally, as in all time. I think it's Jordan.
Not all the time.
I think it's Michael Jordan.
Maybe
I thought it was Mayweather.
No, he's only worth about 400 million.
Nah.
No, in the
he's
scheme.
worth more than that.
I don't know. He's not worth that much more.
I'm gonna Google.
I'm sure Jordan is the highest earner.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
84. Michael Jordan.
There you go. Yeah, I'm right.
84. I thought it was earlier than that.
Tiger Woods. Oh, no, that's 2017.
There you go.
Tiger Woods is a weird looking guy, man.
But you think
He has no emotion in his face, does he?
No, not really.
he was taught as a kid though, just golf etiquette, wasn't it? Just reserve. But then sort of shagged behind.
Oh man,
He was getting his nut off.
Listen
I bet
to
behind
this,
closed door
actually.
he's butt wild.
Yeah.
So they had the NBA Hall of Fame the other night. Tim Duncan, Antonio Spurs got inducted. Kevin Garnett, Boston Celtics, and obviously Kobe Bryant got inducted as well.
Yeah.
But his wife, Vanessa Bryant, took the award.
Yeah.
And she did a speech. And it was like super emotional, but she goes, she asked Kobe one day, like, why did you play through so much injury? And he goes, because people pay good money to come out and see me, and they could be saving their whole life to just come watch me play.
For one game.
For one game, and that's all they can afford. And if I don't show, then they won't see me. And like he goes, I remember when I was a kid, and I saved up all my money to go and watch my favorite player play. And then she turned around and looked at Michael Jordan and smiled. And he smiled back at her. And you think,
yeah, so that's a sportsman. That's for the beauty of the game. There. Do you know what I mean? You don't get that much now, man.
This is it. And you think, even we're talking about the AJ and Fury fight, like how passionate we are about like watching it at home in the UK. Like if we had the money to fly to Saudi, you'd love to go and watch it. Even if you was up in like high in the stadium, just to be there, the atmosphere, and to say you witnessed, you was there. But sports has become so heavily involved with money, and
it's detracted from the fans.
Yeah, and it's so difficult now, like to think, like if I could ever take my kid to go and watch a boxing match, my dad would never be able to afford to take me to go and watch a boxing fight. I remember one time he said to me, don't worry, like I'll take you to go and watch a Man United game when I was like really small. I was never really into football, but the fact that my dad was going to take me to go and watch a football game, meant something. But we couldn't afford that, and that was back then. You know what I mean?
But now it's fucking ridiculous.
I wonder what, probably 800 quid for a seat in the rafters minimum. per
But-
ticket. It's got to be. It'd be crazy. Do you know what I mean?
I would say though, it's a good opportunity to look at who is doing what locally, like your local fighters or teams, etc.
Local football teams.
And-
Go back to
and-
grassroots again.
and invest in them
Yeah.
because you will find good fights and good games from
Passion,
local
real
teams.
passion.
Like you go to Kingsholm, like Kingsholm's a professional. Gloucester Rugby is a
Yeah.
professional team, but if you go and watch them play, you watch a great game. You watch them play. Equally, like you go and watch some of the local boys that fight, like Akeem Ennis-Brown or
Your
Christian
boy,
Duncan.
Yeah.
Or some of the other boys that's boxing or doing MMA. You watch them fight and you watch a good fight.
Yeah.
And you know, in 10, 20 years' time, with God knows what they get up to, you could turn around and say to your kid, I watched him box, or I watched him fight, or
Yeah.
I watched him play, you know?
Yeah, you're right though. These are things that you should be able to afford to go and do, but you
Yeah.
can't.
But
It's just for the
For me, it's
elite.
the same with local music, though, man.
Mm.
You know, if you want to go
Trying
to
to break
gigs,
in.
ridiculous, but there's plenty of good bands around, man.
No, I totally agree with you.
You know?
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have got talent out there, but they just can't get their foot in the door.
I mean, a lot of it,
Especially for bands,
yeah, well, a lot of it's nepotism and stuff like that, unfortunately.
that's the biggest problem in football.
Yeah, it's the
It's
biggest problem
huge.
in most stuff. You know?
Yeah, not so much in fighting.
No, not
because,
so
yeah,
much.
I don't
but
think
then
I've ever seen a father. Has
I
there
have.
ever been a?
Ricky Hatton's son. Ricky Hatton's
It's starting to happen now.
Made
Yeah,
his pro debut
in the last
on-
sort of 10, 15
on
years,
two pay-per-views.
nepotism's come into boxing.
What's next?
Father sons,
So
family
it's like
connections
family
with
friends.
You got Connor, Nigel Benn, you got
Yeah,
Christian.
in the last sort of 20 years, it started to. But
Junior.
before though, it was mainly.
Before, yeah.
I don't,
But
it might have been. Maybe I didn't know, but it didn't
that's it,
seem
like,
it was
I
quite.
was- I watched
Football.
Callum Hatton. Is it Callum Hatton?
I think it's Callum, yeah.
Yeah. So he
He
looked
looked decent.
Yeah, he
didn't
looked decent. He looked
Yeah.
like a good fight, but you would have thought somebody wouldn't usually make the pro debut on a Dillian White,
Yeah.
pay per view, would they?
Mm,
True.
You know?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
then
it's
fight
true.
on a Chisora and Parker pay per view.
yeah.
So it is kind of, it is kind of because of who they know, and it's unfortunate that's the way of the world sometimes. But
Lovely.
it kind of is what it is, you know.
Yeah, it started to creep into sport quite a bit.
because it's in a lot of music and it's in films and
Do you know what? I'd say film is probably acting and direct is probably nepotism is probably the worst.
Oh yeah.
But
There's
that's
so
been going
many
on for, like,
dynasties that have
centuries,
found
hasn't
it.
it?
Yeah.
Been going on since Hollywood.
But you
was
think-
established.
I always said, I thought about it. You think how many people have died that have had raw talent that have never got discovered because it was just because they didn't fit the narrative at that time or something, or they didn't look the way, or they didn't. Do you know what I mean? They didn't
probably,
see-
Yeah.
probably
It's
too
scary,
many
do
to
you know
say.
what I
You
mean?
look at like people like, well, I suppose it's slightly different, but you look at people like Brandon Lee, like his
Nepotism.
film that made him big would
Yeah.
have been The Crow, and obviously got killed.
Freak.
But then-
Do you think that was a
Freak
freak accident?
Yeah. So
It was,
basically,
wasn't it? One round
Yeah.
absolutely slipped in from the arm,
no,
wasn't it?
it was.
They
I think
didn't monitor the
blanks.
firearm.
So from
properly.
my understanding, he was too close to it.
Ah, right. So it was actually a blank that killed him.
Yeah,
No,
because
it wasn't that. It was so the guy that was monitoring the firearm it has to be a licensed
Yeah.
gun holder or something along those lines. But he wasn't in that day. But they decided to shoot the film anyway, and someone put in. It wasn't a live round, but it wasn't checked.
It was a blank.
It was a blank, but it wasn't checked the way it was supposed to be checked, and
But I think
ultimately it
from
killed
my
him.
understanding,
I
with
always thought it was an
blanks-
actual live round that got
I don't know
absolutely
blank.
got in with the blanks.
but blanks can do a lot of damage if you're
Oh, yeah.
if you're not if you shoot somebody with a blank from like that far away,
Yeah, of course you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
the pressure just from the air will be enough to.
Well,
to
normally as well, you put in I can't remember what it's called, a BFL in the military. It's like this yellow thing you put over the top and it stops blank.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So the pressure goes out the sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that wasn't.
See, I always thought it was the scene. If you haven't seen
On the table?
yeah. If you haven't seen The Crow, go and watch The
Spoiler
Crow
alert.
with Brandon Lee. There's a bit of a spoiler right now, but there's a scene where Brandon Lee gets shot at the table
Yeah.
by a load of
All
people.
of them.
I thought that was the scene. It wasn't.
Is it not?
The scene is in the actual beginning where the what are they called, Rob? The Halloween.
Well, they break
guys?
into the house.
They break into the house, and they
Rape his wife and
they
all that,
rape his
yeah.
wife, and they shoot and kill him, and it's that scene.
Ah.
So they must have
but they
shot
must have
that
shot that house.
retrospectively.
But you got to remember when they shoot films, they do
Reverse
it in like
order.
Yeah, they must have
so
shot
many
it.
different
Wow.
ways. Yeah.
And they had to finish off some of it. Like, I remember that.
Yeah. So, and I think there was another actor that stepped in and
I didn't
filmed a
know
lot
that.
of his part.
Yeah, I always
Yeah,
thought he
some
got
people
caught. It would make sense if there was any scene that was going to get fucked up on. It would have been the table scene because everyone's shooting around that table.
You would have thought. I thought it was that.
It's kind of
scene.
scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have some real trust in the people
Yeah.
for have 12, 13 guns. I know the toilet and the blankets, but accidents. You know what I mean? That's
Accidents do
quite
happen.
a fucking scary scene to have. And if you're not used to fucking that noise, it can freak you the fuck out.
But was it John Landis or Max Landis? Because I
What's
think
that?
John Landis is he's a horror director. I think he did. I'm sure he did A Werewolf in London, but he was filming.
That is a badass
It's a
film,
badass
that was.
film. But he was filming the. I'm sure it was John Landis. He was filming the. Maybe it might be Max. I don't know. But he was filming the a Twilight Zone film,
Do you remember the Twilight Zone?
and he
Yeah.
had.
I suppose you're a bit younger than me.
What's the director's name? From the original Twilight films.
Uh,
Alfred Hitchcock.
no. He did that.
Loads
was-
of people did Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone was just a
Yeah.
set of programs like that would come on with creepy stories. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It tells the unexpected. That's
Oh.
what you're thinking of for that music.
Yeah.
So,
So,
like,
but-
yeah, and it'd rate, and then it would go into the story.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
So he was doing the movie, and
They
there
were
was
saying he was illegally to hire 2 children who were killed in 1982.
yeah. So these
Yeah,
kids
so
got their head
wow.
chopped off with a helicopter.
So they actually hired 2 children to be murdered during it to get the authenticity.
Yeah, but I don't think he hired them to kill them.
isn't
But
there
there was an
also
accident.
isn't there a
Oh,
film
shit.
from the 1920s where they do a water scene where they're all and then loads of people died in it?
I don't know about that.
On a Hollywood-
The SS films, they got at SS experiment camp. And that was one where they blew off the turtle's head and whatnot.
No, there's
That
there's
was
a
part of the
no,
Batman films. It was.
no the one
Oh
I'm
yeah,
on
that
about.
was a Ninja Turtle, was that?
Yeah,
Right,
Ninja
that's
Turtles
not. This is
got
from
chopped up.
1920, and it was on a Hollywood fucking scene, and it was basically like one of these Moses films. And they basically had a flooding scene with all this water coming in, and you can actually see people clinging, and there was something like 12 people that died,
Fuck.
drowned. You can see the cameras are still rolling, and the directors are going to carry on, and they're clinging for life.
Damn.
You look online, it's on YouTube.
Oh, all right.
It was horrific.
That was
It's like one of the
Yeah,
there's a few deaths in
they've
films.
done that.
I ain't trying to die on no movie
They've got
set,
called
man.
Red
I'm
Hand.
trying
Yeah.
to get home to
Taking
my
off the
wife
showers.
and mum and do.
Bad though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it in not Alice in Wonderland? What's the other one? Click the Hill 3 times.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz,
No,
isn't
there's
it?
not somebody hanging.
That is just a
That's
tree
just an urban
branch.
myth.
Yeah,
It's just
urban
a
myth.
tree
I
branch or
wondered that.
something. There was an urban myth that somebody
So,
had hung themselves on the set of
The
Wizard
dwarf.
of Oz. One of the Munchkins, I think they're called.
Oh, the Oompa Loompas.
No, not the Oompa Loompas.
No, that's Willy
That's
Wonka.
Willy Wonka. And there's apparently one of them hanging.
That's the
in one of
chocolate
scenes.
dude, right?
Yeah, the chocolate man. Yeah.
I was going to say Errol Flynn from Chocolate, Hot Chocolate.
Yeah.
Mark Henry.
Errol Brown.
Mark Henry, sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
At least. Mark Henry.
But see, you even remember that, yeah? WWE, right? Well, WWF,
Yeah, man.
right? Back in the
They're
day,
happy
you
days,
used to
man.
just be able to stay up late and watch it.
Yeah, and
you
anything
pay
went
for
in them
anything.
things.
No, I think-
Yeah.
That had pay-per-views for quite
Early,
some time.
from about, I think the early 90s, they had sort of, they were
Oh,
paid.
yeah, on
Because it-
Sky, yeah.
because
yeah,
it
you
used to
did,
be-
yeah.
Sky bought them out.
My
and it
bad,
was-
my bad.
But back in the day, English wrestling was on ITV and it was on a weekend.
Yeah, but
Who's that?
English wrestling was fucked up.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy and Giant
Giant
Haystacks.
and stuff like that.
Literally
Oh.
just like 6'7" men.
Grannies.
Fat as
My
fuck.
gran used to love it. She used to love the wrestling and the darts.
You know why she loved the wrestling, don't you?
Oh, they all did. All the old people used to love the wrestling. They always sit there going, 18!
My boy Will, shout out Will Burden. He does professional wrestling. I think he's making his comeback soon. We'll have to go and watch it. He
Mate.
also does the
Giant Haystacks fucked. Look at him. Look at him.
Yo, he's a unit, man.
Yeah,
He was massive, mate.
My dad, when he worked at Boots when he was young,
And then Big Daddy as well.
Big Daddy released a book and he came to do a book signing. And there's a picture of my dad with Big Daddy. And my dad looks like a 12-year-old boy compared to him because Big Daddy is literally just massive.
Have you still got that picture?
My dad's still got it somewhere. I'll try and find it.
Take a picture.
weren't the
of
healthiest men
We'll
in
get
the
it
world.
framed in the studio, man.
Yeah, I'll try. It's fucking mental.
We'll try and see if we can Photoshop your face and your dad's.
Yeah, or on Big Daddy's.
I had an
Big
old
Daddy's
man.
belly.
Yeah.
I've got the ultimate picture for you.
Go on.
Right. One of my old mates back when I lived back in Kent, Mark and Scott, their dad was a doorman, but he was also a wrestler, professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's got a picture in his house, and I was blown away by it. Him in his house with Ted DiBiase.
No way.
Yeah, the $1 Million Man.
Really?
That's
I
fucking
swear
sick.
down,
Holy
bro.
shit. Well, I got one that shows all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But I ain't got the
Ted DiBiase.
picture.
Oh,
I
you
ain't got the
the
picture.
Here we
But either of you. But
Obviously.
anyway.
Yeah.
Actually.
go. Actually, yeah.
So
Tonight, Matthew.
the mosque in Barton Street, Gloucester, they were originally, when my granddad first moved here, there was no mosque here. So him and some other Muslim dudes were getting money together and applying for like funding to
I
open
already
this
know.
mosque. And they approached Muhammad Ali to get some money to
Okay.
help fund the mosque. And the story is, my dad says that he was at home and my granddad says to him, "Oh, tomorrow I'm going to go and see Muhammad Ali to get some funding for the mosque. Do you want to come?" And my dad was like, yeah, okay. And I think my dad wasn't taking him serious. He was just like, yeah, like Muhammad Ali, yeah, sure you are.
Probably another Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Well,
So he sleeps in that morning. He wakes up and my nan says to him, "Oh, like, didn't you go with your dad? Like, he's gone to see Muhammad Ali." And my dad was like, "What? He's actually going?" And my nan was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, no." Anyway, he goes with, I think, a few of my uncles and one of my aunties. They get the funding, they come back. And I think my eldest uncle, he's got the picture of them all sat at the table, and one of my aunties sat on Muhammad Ali's lap.
That's badass.
Yeah.
that's so
And my
sad.
dad missed out, man.
That is insane, man. That would have been awesome.
Imagine
Yeah.
you missed out on
You
that.
wouldn't
imagine.
believe it, though, would you?
No,
No.
of course wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't
No.
believe it, man.
Yeah, there's certain people that are so iconic.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, do you know what I mean? And they're very few as well.
That was yours, born.
Ozzy Osbourne.
To be fair, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be a cool
He did a
aspect.
great track
Yeah.
with Post Malone.
Did he?
Yeah. I think it's called Hollywood's Bleeding or something like that.
Aussie's the man.
Yeah, that'd be an iconic picture. Definitely. If you got it back in the heyday as well, that would have been good in his prime.
He just
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying though. Yeah, but I'm just saying about the sort of the narrative of the
Oh,
picture as well.
just after he
yeah,
left South
Do you know what I mean?
Africa,
Yeah.
he was doing his own
because
stuff,
it
yeah.
certain things in certain periods of life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
But Ali, man, that's bad.
Ali,
That'd
yeah.
be sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's got nothing to do with me, but you know.
But it's still
Yeah,
fun,
mate,
Yeah,
Ted
yeah.
DiBiase. I just saw
Yeah.
the picture. Thought that's the
Yeah.
coolest thing in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Badass,
For
man. I haven't had photos of many famous people. Oh, I've got a few that I met through the Cheltenham, but they're not icons.
Who are we talking?
Oh, Joe Brand, sort of Louis Theroux I met. He was cool.
Yeah,
Did
he
he?
would be sick.
Yeah.
What's he like?
Sound as fuck. Very
Yeah.
down to earth.
I thought he would be.
Yeah, he's cool as
Do you
fuck.
ask him to try on his glasses?
No, but he gave me a signed book. It's in the car.
Oh,
Oh.
sick.
Actually, to me as well. Instead of just like, he actually put two at it. Have a weird weekend. Louis
That's
Theroux.
awesome. I love Louis.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
He was really
Vibes.
cool. A few of them are arrogant, but like, not. I've never met any. I've met Princess Diana.
Oh, sick. Oh,
Serious?
Yeah, twice.
What?
that
And
in
you
the same
didn't
day?
think to mention that? Of
But there's
all
no
things?
photo evidence of it.
What's our die like?
She's all right. I know Charles was there as well. It was basically my old man when he was in the army. They were opening a new part of the camp, and he
Yeah.
was the warrant officer there. And it was a big day. And so they went to the school first. So I was at the school, so I met her. And she did all the handshakes and all that. And then my old man pulled me out and took me up to where they were doing the military one as well.
Did she recognise you?
I can't remember vaguely the conversation. I think
Yeah.
she said my dad was there. And he said he
Did
met-
you get to touch her, like shake
Yeah,
her
I
hand?
shook her hand. Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
Charles as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's more iconic now because of what's happened, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because back then she was Princess Diana, but there wasn't the gravitas and the sort of
Yeah, it wasn't quite also.
there was none of the history that made her what she was. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing there. This was in 1980. Oh man,
She's quite young.
84,
then as
I
well,
think.
right?
Yeah, they only got married in 81.
Yeah.
They got married when she was quite young, didn't they?
Yeah, she was young. I remember there was a massive street party, and I don't know what my mum was doing, man, but there was a street party back in the days that you used to have, and you'd do fancy dress, and there's a picture of me dressed as Andy Pandy,
Who the fuck is that?
He's Andy Pandy.
It's an old sort of like program for kids, nursery rhyme, not nursery rhyme, stories. Andy Pandy. It's just
He's not related to Jimmy, is he?
No, it's nothing like that. But it's
Sounds
just
like
saying he has
Jimmy.
striped pajamas. Something like that, yeah. I think it actually is. It goes right back, like Muffin the Mule and all that. Andy Pandy.
Did you just say Muffin the Mule?
Not Bill and Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill and Ben were on there, but they were later on. I think it goes back to the old school, like 50s.
I'd just got dressed as Wolverine, man. Or Spider-Man, that's what
So that'd be cool. But I didn't have none of that in 91, and I had no choice. And there's a picture of me looking pissed off, big time, just stood there like that. And I've got this fucking blue and white striped pajama thing on, and this fucking hat. It's awful, bro.
I would have gone as a marshmallow man.
Yeah.
What, 81?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters didn't come out till 85, 86.
Alright
You've
then,
been
so
ahead of
I
the
would have jumped in Doc Brown's car and then gone as the marshmallow man.
That wasn't out until 85.
Yeah, that was out at like 85 or something.
Literally.
No, it's earlier than that, wasn't
I might as well have gone as Damien.
it? Yeah,
Oh,
that
for
would
the
have
Omen.
That would
Yeah.
have been sick.
But my parents didn't have that foresight.
No.
She just whacked me, and she made the costume, which is even worse.
But
That's
that's
a
old
pop
school. I quite
That-
like that, you know.
There's an old. I was lucky. I think I caught the tail end of the old sort of Britain. Do you know what I mean? Like I was 77, and I remember a sort of 81 few bits of it, old school Britain, when you could leave before you could leave your door open. You
Before
wouldn't
the
get
immigrants
burgled.
came over.
What? No, you wouldn't. The Jamaicans were over in the 60s,
Yeah, they were all
50s, so they were all
after World War II as well.
Yeah. There you go. So only there. Do you know what I mean? We all had quite a bit of immigration back then. It wasn't as big as what it was.
Oh,
but
really,
it
Joe?
wasn't that.
I feel really uncomfortable.
It's the innocence. The innocence has gone out of Britain. Because you only had 3 channels back then. You didn't have the internet.
Was it Victoria Beckham who launched Channel 5?
Like employment, you
Now.
could.
Did she really?
I'm sure she did.
Nah.
No, Channel 5 was.
Victoria
Oh,
Beckham.
Channel 4, yeah.
Nah.
No, Channel 4 was in the late 70s. The first
Who was
program. The first program on Channel 4 was Countdown.
Maybe she launched like one of the ITVs, maybe.
Countdown was the first program on Channel 4.
I'm sure there was something that David
mate.
Victoria Beckham.
Yeah, old school.
Oh, you know it.
She launched something, I'm sure. No.
A clothing line, a perfume, a career when she married Beckham.
No, she had a career before that. She was a Spice Girl, mate. What are you on about?
Yeah, man, these are big things.
You don't realise how bad that was
It was awful.
because you were young. It was awful. I remember there was a girl called Abby. I'm not going to say her second name. She had.
Did you pipe?
Oh, this is so bad. She had a pink MG Metro, and she used to sit in the with another girl called Michelle, and I won't say her second name either. And when that Spice
Mum and
Girls
Pike.
song came out, you couldn't get away from it. It was, I mean, it
Which
was
one's this?
Zigga Zigga. If you want to be my lover,
What a
How did it
Wanna
go?
It's a banging
I'm
song.
not doing it.
Uh,
I'm not doing
It
it.
is a banging song.
It's awful. It's fucking awful because it was getting played 100 times a day.
Oh, yeah. But anything's like
And
that.
I remember driving through Strood High Street, fucking literally trying to. I was tall back then, trying to crouch down an MG Metro because they had the windows down. It was the summer, and they had that, and they were singing it. I was just like, oh, this is embarrassing. A pink MG Metro.
You were just trying to pipe, weren't you?
hey, but do you remember S
I
Club
was trying to
7?
get in one of
Yeah, I
the
remember
niggas.
S Club 7. They were like our S Club 7.
I was thankfully I'd moved on. It was the 90s. Unfortunately, some of the best music in the world came out in the 90s, but there was also boy bands that came out, and it just fucked it. Because you have Britpop early days, man. There was some fucking badass
Yeah,
bands.
Suede were awesome.
Oh, so
Suede and
many, mate. There was so many decent bands, but and that's when I was really into it as well. You couldn't. Everyone was into it.
Yeah.
Because it was fucking good music, and then they got this. Take that.
What's wrong with Take That?
That's when it started. Really?
Was it Protect That?
Yeah, they were the first big boy band. Well, no, you can say that the boy bands in the 70s, like the Osbournes and things like
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean? But franchise. That's
Easy,
so.
mate.
But
So
he's.
is that, mate.
But I love E70.
He's the one that.
E70 with a fucking. I will never have a bad word said
Stay
against.
another day.
That was like the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
If you hated Take That, you were
What was
into
that show
E17.
called where they used to go into
Which
it?
one's
Well,
E17?
Going live.
They did Stay Another Day.
Oh, and
There's this
are
guy.
they the ones that did
It's the greatest song,
Amazing
song ever.
There's a
Are
guy.
they the
who's-
ones that did Crossroads as well?
No, that's
Bone
Bone Thugs and Harmony. And they were
No,
American.
I know it's Bone Thugs and Harmony, but there was another pop.
Blazing
that-
Squad.
Oh, Blazing
That
Squad.
wasn't
That
bad.
was it.
No,
There was-
well.
That's way down the line. Blazing Squad.
There's
Ah,
a dude
okay.
who I used to work with, and he got a cassette
Brian
of,
Harvey, mate.
of E17, Stay Another Day.
Oh.
And the A side was the original song, and the B side was just the instrumental, so you could record your own version
Yeah,
of it. That's so funny.
Mate, I used to dress like them. I had the Arctic. This is back in my heyday of being a teenager. I mean, I had the Arctic puffer jacket.
E17.
The
Chicago
Arctic.
Bulls baseball cap backwards.
No, I had the British Knights
Did you?
baseball cap,
Okay.
which is like the LA Raiders one,
Yeah.
a bit like that.
What,
And then
what's
had,
the song called?
Arctic
Well,
camouflage.
Stay Another
Which
Day.
one do you want?
And
I
then
don't,
I
think, don't play it, so I don't know. if we
and then I had massive. They were called troop trainers as well back in the day, man.
Thunder.
They were fucking
That was one
expensive.
of the later albums.
Mate.
House of Gold from their first album. What was
Everybody
it?
in the
Wolven-
House of Love.
What was their first album called? Walthamstow.
Something like that, yeah. Fucking hell.
Resurrection.
I can't remember. It's
No.
called Walthamstow something.
Everybody in the House of Love was their
That
first
was
big
their
hit.
very first album. That in gold.
I do remember though. The guys that sang "I Want It That Way." Who were they?
They're awful.
I wanted that. Oh, Boyzone.
Boyzone.
Was
no,
it
no,
Boyzone?
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Ah, right.
Oh yeah.
But
It's
this
in
is
the
the
name.
thing. This
Yeah.
is the thing, though. Like, you know, going back like
When
I
music
don't know,
died.
like 10 years ago, right? So me and a few of my cousins used to play GTA Online, right? And we'd go and do like a bank heist job, and we'd be like flying there or in a car driving there, and then I Want It That Way used to come on, and we'd just be singing along to that on the way to this bank heist job on GTA.
Yeah.
Those were good
Yeah,
days,
boy.
you know.
Yeah, there was
But
some
they were
sticks
the
on
days, man. But unfortunately, it got killed. That's when music started getting dying a bit.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Do you know what I mean? Because it went to that. It was all sort of mastered. It was all written for people.
Oh, yeah, that was in like the mid to late 90s. But we had a lot of great music in the 90s. I'm sorry, that the 90s was something else.
Yeah, so R&B in the 90s, before R. Kelly got a bit fruity, he was putting out some really good fucking stuff, man. I know it's hard to take.
What year was it he done the album with?
I don't
in
see
the
nothing
closet?
wrong.
No,
Have you
closet,
seen
in
the
closet.
documentary?
The closet,
No,
right,
before
the
he started
closet.
pissing on people.
The one where he done the two part.
I-
That
yeah,
was phenomenal.
I
That was
think
something else.
so.
R. Kelly's album. It was in the at the closet.
Yeah,
what was that?
we don't talk about R. Kelly.
I
anymore.
know it's bad, but the boy was banging out some badass tunes
You know,
in the early
there's-
90s, man.
I believe
There's-
I can fly.
No, sorry, man. Like, he really
There's
did.
another group called Belle Biv DeVoe. There was so
There's-
many good bands. And
there's
so many
a,
R&B
um,
singers in the 90s who were fucking
There's an
kicking
option you can do on Spotify where you mute an artist, and R. Kelly had to be muted, man.
Look,
That's sad times, man.
That documentary was horrific.
It was.
No, the
It was
documentary
so
was
bad.
horrific, but the music's good. The music's good.
Yeah, I know,
No,
but
man.
it's hard to separate when it's
I
that
can't-
bad. You can't separate the two.
I can't be a believer of R.
Look,
Kelly.
it took me 10 years before I listened to Man in the Mirror again. After he, no, it's
People went after
when it's when he died and then shit started coming.
Yeah.
It took me a long time, man. Because every time I
Oh,
heard
man.
certain lyrics, I kept thinking, how the fuck did he come up with them?
Uh,
You know what I mean? You've
Alright,
got to look at it.
Michael's
There's no
innocent.
smoke without fire.
All right, then.
Yeah, Michael's
What's
a
his name? Ian? What's his name from the Lost Prophets? Right? Yeah.
Ian Watkins.
That was just that, right?
That's
That was-
outrageously disgusting.
Yeah,
However,
that's
the
like
music
Jimmy
was
Saville
good.
having a
But on the same
music
note,
career.
he called his song a town called Hypocrisy. Like if you actually listen to the lyrics and listen to what he's a dirty old man.
Yeah, he was he tried to fuck a kid, didn't he?
He did.
A baby.
I don't think he, I
No,
don't
he
think he
didn't.
did.
He
but I
didn't.
think
He
Well, there was
arranged it with
pictures,
some woman,
but
man.
there was also
No, he didn't know.
grade
But
A
within his
pictures.
music, the fucking thing was there to catch him.
I don't know,
It was
man.
there.
That
Yeah, I
sounds
remember
It was as much as
a bit
fucking
wrong
Jimmy
to
Savile.
me.
Yeah, Jimmy Savile.
Hey, man.
There's-
Jimmy
Yeah,
Savile.
Jimmy Savile having a
Old
music
school
career.
career. Yeah, basically.
Whatever happened to the Australian dude?
What, Rolf Harris? He got released.
Did he?
Board.
Yeah, he's been released now.
Nice.
I thought he was still in there.
Can you guess what it is?
He was another one, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
saw
was,
that.
mate,
I
He had
saw
a song
that. I saw that
called
class.
Two Little Boys.
Two Little Boys, banging song.
Literally a banging song.
Yeah, Tiny can't get
it
him
was,
down.
it was a song of the time. When that released as like a Christmas song or something.
I don't
What
know.
was did he do? It was a Christmas
Rolf,
tune.
I tell you, I know this
Go on,
thing.
go on, man. I remember. My dad
Rolf
loved it.
Harris came big in the sort of the 60s.
You
So
were
it was
with
quite hip, yeah. And then he got into doing kids' TV. But
him.
in the late,
Got to doing kids.
yeah, he did his art, Rolf's Art Attack and stuff like that, and Rolf's
Yeah,
Rolf's
Rolf
cartoon
rapes.
cartoon club or something like that. It was look again. That one actually hurt me When it came out about him, because I grew up with him as a kid.
I remember him.
It's like the Really Wild show, and there's certain people that you grow up with. Do you know what I mean? Through your childhood that you really remember.
Like
And
the
he was-
Waltons.
It wasn't the Waltons for me. That was before my time. Highway to Heaven. But yeah, Rolf Harris was very big in the sort of 70s and 80s, especially in kids' TV. You remember he painted for the fucking Queen.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he actually sat the Queen down and painted
Do
her.
you reckon she burnt that after?
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
she put in Andrew's room.
You can actually get hold of his artwork.
Really?
You can get hold of his artwork, and I reckon in about 100 years' time, that probably might be worth money.
You
because
get
Picasso
Hitler stuff as well.
we don't know the real stuff gets lost in history. Do you know what I mean? So people that might have been vilified, like Genghis Khan was a cunt,
Yeah,
but now you see him as Che Guevara. Certain people through time could change; they morph into something more.
I don't think anybody's got to have a like
Rolf Harris.
17-year-old kid at university's got to have a picture of Rolf Harris on his wall.
What in 100 years'
In
time?
100 years' time, they're not.
Why not?
Jimmy
Because he
there.
fucked kids. Che Guevara didn't fuck kids, as far as I'm aware. And
No,
Genghis
but
No,
Khan.
Genghis
it's always-
Khan. Did
Yeah.
you say that about Genghis Khan?
no, but he probably did.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody really thinks Genghis Khan's
No,
a good
but you
person.
see him in a different light because you
You think he
it's
was a
this tra-
conqueror?
because so much has gone, so much history has passed.
Yeah, he got named as something different.
Yeah.
It morphs into something else.
Everybody knows he's fucked.
I don't know where you're going with this with Rolf Harris, man.
Yeah,
artwork might be
in
worth
1,000 years' time, people are going to think Rolf Harris the
Do you know
conqueror.
the thing is, his artwork was
Only
good.
the conqueror of the kids.
Nah, he was just a
Nah.
whipping boy.
He came.
Jimmy's the
Jimmy's the
conqueror,
conqueror,
man. He didn't care if they were alive.
Yeah, he was old school.
He
Any-
didn't. He was
anyways-
working in the mortuary of the hospital.
Yeah, that's rough. And
Yeah, swiftly moving on.
Necrophilia, man.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't really want to talk about
then.
Do
you know what?
guys
Do you know
that
somebody's put like
touching
10
kids when I originally announced that I'm having a kid.
Yeah.
Do you
The
know what?
last thing I want to talk about.
Do you
Yeah.
know what it is? My worst nightmare would have been a kid that was in a coma in that ward when he was working there. Or you just come out of a coma and all you hear is the jingle of his jewellery at 2 a.m. Oh my God. Can't even get out the
What was it
bed.
he always used to say?
Now then.
Yeah.
Here's your name, little.
Oh,
What's your name, little boy? The poor kid can't even get out of bed.
Trapped.
Do you know what I mean? Trapped because he's got Jimmy at 2 o'clock in the morning with his fucking jewelry going around there, little boy.
The sad thing is, they actually gave him the keys to those hospitals.
He was running. He was
That is
running
actually
broad.
the biggest hop. That is like,
Yeah.
no, it's like from the like the.
They gave him keys to all that, and
That
they
is
also
actually the-
left him in charge
that
of
man,
Broad.
Yeah,
He was in charge of Broadmoor.
the key to the city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucked.
walking in.
They let him in charge, and he was mixing with all the pedos in
He was
there.
actually sliding down the hallways.
Well, he was feeding information to the pedos and stuff as well in Broadmoor. He was befriending all the pedos in there.
Mental, man.
How the fuck? When you look back and you look at him, if you had to
Did you
draw a
see
pedo, you would draw him.
Probably would.
You would literally, if you were an alien and you explain what a pedo was, you'd say, what do you think one would look like? Fucking Jimmy Saville would turn up.
Probably, yeah.
And he got through with it. Charles and Diana loved him. He was in with the Royals. He was in with so many people.
Yeah.
But he was also supplying kids to a lot of fucking politicians. Thatcher's cabinet, half of them were rogering kids.
Yeah.
And that's fact as well. That's not me just spitballing. You can fucking research that. That's
Yeah.
true.
Swiftly moving on anyway.
All the stuff they are in
Somebody's
the
put-
media there.
Yeah, somebody's put 10p in Al and he's fucking kicking off again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, dead air.
But no, the only thing I can think of talking about is some of that I don't really want to talk about. But you guys do.
Well,
You know what it is.
Yeah, but I've got to be very careful.
You've got to be careful.
Oh.
Yeah.
The big showdown.
the big showdown.
Yeah.
It's not really a big showdown, is it? Come on.
It
There's
is.
one side
It's a
wins and
fucking
that's it.
genocide. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a conflict, definitely.
It's not conflict.
It is.
And if anyone says it's land grabbing, it's a bit more than fucking that.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
it's more than that.
It's not a territory
You know.
problem. It's not land grabbing. It's fucking
I
genocide.
mean, it's.
It's a tricky one to talk.
I think
it's
it's
not tricky. It's fucking genocide.
it's a whole never podcast, but essentially what you got is some people want to address it as a conflict between Israel and Palestine. Some want to address it as Palestinians being killed by the Israeli army. There's so many ways you can name this topic, but essentially what you got is civilians being killed, and accountability needs to be held to someone or something or a organization. So it's definitely a sensitive subject.
They really are.
But yes, I don't know. I think the thing is like, you know, we will openly condemn anyone or anything that harms an innocent person, whether that's a man, woman, or child. But the media seems very reluctant to condemn people that are harming Palestinian children, men, women, and children again. So it's one of those where I think because people don't understand what anti-Semitism
Ignorance.
is, they don't understand it, so they won't speak about certain things that
Too scared.
has people that are associated to Judaism, Israel, or potentially Zionism. So they don't want to talk about those things because they don't want to be labeled anti-Semitism, or they don't want to touch on anti-Semitic. So apologies, but they don't want to talk about those things because they don't want to be labeled that. But in the same time, innocent people are being killed and it's not being addressed.
They're not being killed, bro. They're being slaughtered. There's a difference between killing people. These people are being fucking slaughtered, man. And I don't care how you know me.
Fully fucking equipped.
I am
military men.
You know me. I respect your faith. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe in religion, but we've always put that. I will fight for anyone's right to believe in what they want.
Yep.
100%. Everyone has the right to believe in what they want. But you can't, I don't care what you say, at the end of the day, that is a country that's got billions and billions. It's got one of the most advanced armies in the world. And they are fighting people with rocks and stones and rockets that are shit. And you know what I mean? For every one Israeli that's killed, there's something like 40, 50 Palestinians that are being killed. You put away religion, it is an absolute genocide. The kids, man, they're fucking blowing up. It's hard to watch, especially in this day and age, that you're seeing this happening.
Yeah.
And the world is just saying, oh, well, we don't agree with it. Well, really, there needs to be a ceasefire. Everyone's so scared and flim-flammy over it, they won't say boo to Israel because they're so scared of, like you said, looking like they're anti-Semitic. It's bullshit. It's not anti-Semitic. When you've got a nation that are actually out and out kicking people out of their homes and saying you've got no choice, and then being killed. First day of Ramadan, look what they did. They bowled into that mosque, armed. That was what it started. It's not because they're anything. That's how it started. You were just peacefully going about your business on a holy day, and they just wrecked in there and started kicking off.
Yeah, I think the defense as well. The sort of spokespeople from Israel said that Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, is hiding out in the mosque or these facilities, etc. But I think the issue is it's easy to say that as a defense, but and then all the footage that's seen is children, men, women, and kids being killed. But then where's all these terrorist soldiers? Like, why aren't we seeing any of their bodies? Or, you know, we don't see them. So, like, it's hard to believe something you're telling us when you can't see the enemy that you're supposedly killing.
Yeah, because they've got a certain narrative that they're sticking to.
That's what they do. Every news group has their own
BBC,
narrative. And
Sky
it's all
is run by
functional
Murdoch.
between like
They've got their own agenda.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, for me,
Al Jazeera is a good news to watch. They're actually pretty good. And how can you say there was one bloke that was in Hamas, so they took the whole building down where the foreign press were?
yeah.
Just leveled the fucking building. All right, so get out. But how can you justify that?
I mean, the only way.
They're going to bomb the shit out of Gaza, so there won't be nowhere for them to live.
Yeah.
If you look at the state of it now, if you look at Gaza now, it's like Lebanon when the Gaddafi fell. If you look at Aleppo before and after, it was a beautiful city. Soon as it got trashed, it looks like a fucking nuclear holocaust has happened there. It's fucked up. That's what they're going to do. They're going to bomb the shit out of the fucking lot of them until there's nowhere for them to go.
But
then take the land.
I mean, here's my the way in which I see it. You know, the UN and any other kind of external country, even though kind of the UN in a way did start it when they split. You know.
What, the British
when they
government?
split the land up. Yeah. well, the British backed out, and then the
Brilliant,
UN came in and split it up. But no external, countries or bodies want to get involved and want to say, well, this is what we got to do.
You think
But then
Jordan would say something?
but then neither Palestine or Israel want to concede.
But why
What do you
should
mean,
Palestine concede?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
Because they openly welcomed them in after the war and said, "Come here, live here."
Yeah.
And if you look at the map originally, there was it was huge. Palestine had, and now you've got the West Bank and Gaza. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all Israel.
But that's
so
it.
how can you
But
justify that?
But the places like Hamas,
with this much money going in from like corporations and it's basically a funded war against people with nothing.
yeah,
Right? Give me a solution. What I like that. I mean, like throw them out there. Anybody throw them out there. Like solutions in this.
It's not
in
that
this
simple.
I
They
know
made it
it's
so
not simple.
complicated.
Yeah.
No.
Because if you've got neither side that's willing to back down,
Trade deals.
and each of them think they're in the
breaking,
right, then what
breaking
do
away
you
from
do?
deals and trade deals.
Well, yeah,
Let's
you
see the
can
money
put
within the
embargoes
country.
onto
Yes,
Israel.
absolutely.
yeah.
You can do trade, hit them where it hurts,
But
which they've
absolutely.
hurt.
I think the main issue is, and what people like aren't addressing, is if England went over to Wales and Scotland and decided to take over a part of their land,
Yeah,
and
which
then
we
just
will.
say, "Oh, sorry, you need to move out of here because we were promised this land, we own it, we're staying here."
It said in the Magna
The
Carta we
Welsh,
could have
and
Wales.
the Welsh and the Scottish would be like, "What the hell are you doing? You can't do that. That's illegal." So why aren't we looking at it the same way with Israel and
exactly.
Palestine?
That's what I'm trying to
Because
say. Yeah, absolutely.
before
100%.
1947, Israel didn't exist. It was just Palestine.
Awful, mate. Absolutely
And, like,
disgusting.
On a personal level,
But
I
it's
never
genocide.
knew my granddad. Yeah, my dad's dad, and he used to collect a lot of coins. It was his thing, and stamps. That was his thing. And I remember one day I was in my understairs and I was like looking through his stuff that he had left, and I come across all these coins, and I found this Palestinian coin, right? And I don't know why. I didn't even really know much about Palestine. I just thought it was a country. Didn't know where it was in the world. If I pointed at a map, I'll probably point somewhere in Africa. And this coin, I don't know why, it just kind of, something about it felt quite close to me and to my granddad. So I always kept it, right? And I've worn it since I was like since I was young, because it always felt close to me. And I never really understood what it meant until like I got a bit older and I understood the conflict and the struggle and the oppression in Palestine. And up until this day, I still wear it. And on the day, it says Palestine 1927.
You know that, man.
So
Where's
where did Israel come from
I know.
before 1927? Because they didn't exist up until 1947. And this is what I'm trying to say. You can't go into Ireland and say, "Oh, this is English territory,"
man. Not at all. No.
and then claim that it didn't exist post prior 2021. You know what I mean?
Just to say blatantly said no, sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Can I just say to viewers that don't be scared to voice your opinions on this, and don't be put or misled by media.
Yeah.
Look into
for
stuff
sure,
yourself,
for sure.
and don't be afraid to speak up. And if there's marches going on in your local towns or cities, go to it, because that's the only way that you're really going to get the message out and for people to listen.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what you say, when you get babies getting killed the way they are, it's wrong.
Yes.
On a human nature, it's just wrong.
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, people are gonna have opinions from both sides, and they're gonna have, you know,
Of
they're gonna
course.
be passionate and strong about what they believe in, etc. But you know, it doesn't take 5 minutes to go on Google and have a look at what's going on yourself. It doesn't take 5 minutes to go onto social media and just type in things and find out what is actually happening, because it's easy to believe what the media tell you, but they're only going to tell it from one point of view.
They've got a narrative.
What's that news
So
group
go
you
and-
watch?
Go
What's
and
the news group you
educate.
watch, Al?
Go and educate yourself.
Al
Find out.
Jazeera
Go
is a good
find
one.
out yourself your own sources. Look into it off your own back. Just
Yeah.
with anything else, it doesn't have to be over the whole Israel and Palestine conflict. It could be about anything, right? But if you really want to educate yourself, the internet is the biggest tool to educate yourself in this day and age.
100%.
You would have to be blindly ignorant to ignore things when you've got that source of information.
And more than ever, you need to, because fake news is being propagated by actual media companies now, and that's the sad thing about it. If you look at Fox News in America, they propagate fake news. That's what they're about. They're just about what hits they can get. what taglines they can use, what they can say to go against whatever they think their narrative is. If they don't agree with it, even if it's right, they've got their view and they will stick to it, and they will create fake news to whip people into a frenzy to then get them on their side. It's no different to what the BBC do. They just do it in a more slicker way. They're not so in your face. You need to go and look this stuff up and to actually see what's going on. I can't say that enough to people, man, because it's driving me insane that we live in a world today where this is going on. It's absolutely fucking mind-boggling. I know religion. A lot of people are religious, but Christ, I struggle with it, man.
I know you.
I really do, man. I just to bank everything on a book that's got no proof is just in my head. It's just fucking mental.
You knew this was coming, man.
I know. I'm not going to say any more on it because I don't want to get away from what we were talking about with that. Because it's still fucking. I don't care. At the end of the day, everyone has a right to believe in what they want.
Yeah,
I will fight for people's right for that. It's just my belief is different to theirs. But that's the beauty of it: free speech and free belief. Do you know what I mean? You can have the right to believe in a God if you want to, and you have the right not to. But when you're just getting people that are being slaughtered, it's wrong.
I think at the end of the day, if you take anything away from this podcast today, is just do some research. If you're interested, if you are genuinely interested, do some research via social media, via the internet. And if it is something that resembles with you and you feel that you want to make a change, I'm sure there's plenty of charities that you can donate to that can get aid out to the people that need it.
Anything, man. I think on that note, we should say goodbye, world.
Yeah, before we get too hot on anything else. So
take it easy, people, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
see you.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.